sound properly. Okay, that's my mic, and audio swapped over properly as well. I don't know why default isn't working, but whatever. Okay.
Because fuck you, that's why.
Yeah, true. So, I have a little text story before we start the day today. I posted it in Sign's
Oh
server,
god.
Oh
but
no.
so it's
I know
the
what
end of the
this
day.
is.
It's the end of the day, and
Issue.
this person submits a ticket. And they're like, I need you to install a printer to this computer. I'm like, okay, great. So I call them. I'm like, hey, so I'm going to hop on your computer. We'll get that printer installed. And she's like, oh, well, actually, it's not my computer. It's for a different computer. I just submitted the ticket on their behalf. Okay. Which computer? I don't know. Okay. Who's logged into it? Shipping. Okay, it's the shipping computer. So you did know which computer it was. So I get on the shipping computer, and well, yeah, I'm missing a step there. So actually, I didn't get on the shipping computer because it wasn't on. I was like, well, I can't get on the shipping computer. She's like, oh yeah, it's off. I'm like, can you turn it on for me?
I can't install anything I can't install it to something that's off.
So we get the computer turned on. I get into it. I'm like, okay, well, what's the printer I need to install? Oh, it's a new OKI printer.
New Oki.
Okay. And the brand number, name? Oh, D741. I'm like, okay. DN, DNW, BW. Oh, DN. Okay. So I get the software downloaded. I'm starting to install it, which, by the way, for this client, we have an admin account, and normally for our clients, we have an admin account that we use for everything, because it's the admin account for everyone. And then we also have a backup local admin account. But for this client, they are, I guess, really fucking ass hurt, or they're hyper security paranoid. And the admin account for their domain cannot be used on any of their computers.
Huh?
Yes.
That's fucking dumb, but okay.
Yeah, so this is a problem because, well, onboarding sleeps on the job half the time, so pretty much like 70% of their computers did not have asset information for a local admin account.
Okay.
Which makes it a little bit hard to do anything because we don't have an admin account to make the admin account because we can't use the admin account.
Yeah, you'd have
Brilliant.
to do a local elevation.
Yeah, we can't do that because we don't have an admin account.
No, you can.
We don't have an admin account.
No. Sneaky, I'm saying you have to do it locally from the computer.
Yes.
Physically.
We don't have an admin account.
You can make one.
We don't have an admin account to make one.
Locally, you can make one. Using command, you cannot do it over the network to make one that way. You have to go out.
You cannot use a non-admin account to make an admin account on a local computer. You
don't use the admin account. You restart into safe mode and do it that way.
Well, yes. You really think I'm gonna try and get a fucking user to restart into safe mode?
Oh, absolutely fucking not. I'm saying this is an on-site job.
Sure, yeah, but either way, I got it fixed, and we're going. I'm installing it, and I'm like, well, hold on. I can't find the printer. Well, what's the printer's IP? I don't know. The printer's not on.
They're making this so easy for
you. Still hearing that makes me mad.
I'm just like, so you want me to install a printer that isn't on to a computer that isn't on?
Yes. It has no admin
account. Get to it, tech boy.
Can you turn the printer on? No.
Nope.
Why not? It doesn't turn on.
Huh?
I think we have a different problem we need to address first.
Fucking.
I love how this just gets better every time we reach the next troubleshooting step.
I'm just like, okay, why isn't it turning on? I don't know. The people who use this printer left 3 hours ago. Should I wait for them to come back tomorrow to get this worked on? Yes.
Perish.
Please call back tomorrow. I'm just like...
You tell me while they were here.
Like, what? Why didn't you tell us while they were here? Why is the printer... Why didn't you submit a task to get the printer working before you tried to get me to install it?
Because you would obviously have to fix the printer when you install it. That's why they only made 1 ticket.
Oh, no, it's 2 tickets now.
Yeah, but you made the second ticket, not them.
It doesn't matter. They're getting charged the same.
Sure, but they were lazy and didn't want to make 2 tickets.
True. But anyway, so it's just like I'm so fucking done with retarded people sometimes. It's like, holy shit.
If I remember correctly, isn't the Oki installer a multi-installer? Like, you don't need to download the specific one for the in versus the not in variant. You just get the multi-installer.
I mean, according to the I have no idea honestly, but according to the website, it was an individual download location for each. So
okay.
I don't really care.
I know some do multi, some do individual.
Yeah, well, you're thinking probably of Brother, and you're probably thinking of
He's also probably thinking like 15 years ago, before they started insisting, oh, you have to have an account to use the AIO software that installs
that's HP.
everything you would need.
That's HP.
Shit. There was that one. Kyocera? No, was it Kyocera? No, it wasn't Kyocera. Kyocera's the one that's a bitch to get the drivers for.
Yeah, you had to call Kyocera or have an account.
Yeah, it's so fucking frustrating.
Lovely.
Oh shit. There was
it's
one
because their printers are contracted. They're rated.
Yeah. There's one really good printer installer that's like a universal easy setup installer, and it's not obnoxious.
I think it's LexSmart.
I am blanking on it right now.
I think it's LexSmart.
No, it's not Lex. No,
it's not Lex.
It's not Lex. Zebra's close. Zebras just are a bitch to. The zebras are a completely different animal. Their installer's not the problem. The printer's the fucking problem.
The printer's the problem. 1, 2. It depends on what you're talking about, because Zebra has a whole collection of devices that include normal printers, laser printers, heat printers, like 4 different fucking kinds of printers.
Ribbons.
Thermal printers.
Yeah.
Oh,
like, fucking hell.
Between the thermal, there's like 3 different types of thermal printer.
Yeah, I'm just totally blanking on the name right now. But, yeah, so it was just a very... It was a very frustrating day. Had to call out my coworkers again. Because we was at a moment where we were having some phone calls come in, and my entire team on my end all went to lunch for some reason at an overlapping time, and or they came back and never took their do not disturb off. And so because it's harassment to call out individual people, I just said into the group chat, hey guys, I'm currently the only tier 1 on the team, so if I can get some help for incoming calls, that'd be great. And then my manager rushes in like, what do you mean you're the only tier 1 on the team right now? What do you mean? What do you mean? We got 6 other people here. I'm like, yep, they're all on do not disturb. And then as I said that, like 4 of them took do not disturb off.
Yeah, because they got called out.
Yeah,
of course.
I really think your manager needs to be given the boot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently he's a old boy. Twitch safe language. He's an old boy at the company, so he's been there for like 15 years. So
Well, it
he will
sounds like
not
he's
be
not
getting the
It
boot.
sounds like he's not competent enough to be there
He's not.
15 years.
He quite literally is there through perpetuation. He was there in the early days when they needed all hands on deck, and it was just anyone with a pulse and 2 brain cells to rub together was given a job. And now it's because he was there for so long, he's basically part of the old crew, and the old crew are beyond reproach.
Ah,
Oh yeah, of course. Silly me.
Yes, obviously.
as is always the case. I want to take a second. So
Yeah.
the Steam Summer Sale is going on, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Which, right? Remember, gentlemen, don't buy things unless you've been eyeing them for at least a year, preferably longer. So I have always been a Halo fan,
Sure.
and I thought, how bad is the DLC? You know what? I can buy a Halo game for $20. Sure. I'll buy the campaign for $20.
Which
I thought
one?
you said the Infinite deal. I thought you said the Infinite story was on sale for cheap.
Oh, Max, it's still
Oof.
$60.
Yeah, they're
No,
doing
no,
the
no,
Sony
no,
approach
no.
of never lowering the price.
No, you said it was on sale for cheap. Also, that's the Nintendo approach, not the Sony
That's
approach.
also the Sony
And
approach.
Yeah,
I-
but Nintendo were the ones who started that. But
Fair.
no, when you tell me cheap, I expect like 10 to 15 at most, not
I
20.
see.
20
For
is what it
a,
should be MSRP 3 years after release.
I mean,
Yeah.
yes, but this was the only, like, I was like, all right, you know what? $20 is a price point I'm willing to pay because I do like Halo, and assuming the campaign has the same level of gunplay as the multiplayer, sure, fine, which it does. It's not Halo 3. Nothing will ever be Halo 3. However, it is still quite fun in terms of gameplay, right? It's still fine. It works. The armor, they got rid of armor lock. They gave you a grappling hook. Yeah, okay, sure. But I start the campaign. We start the campaign with the Infinity getting absolutely demolished. Oh, okay,
Yep.
this is quite bad. And there's some brute named Atriox who manhandles the chief, which I want to be clear. I'm actually fine with
Canon. That's canon. Yeah.
that. Brutes regularly manhandle Spartans. However, I immediately take umbrage with this man because he's beaten the shit out of the Master Chief, drags him to the edge of an airlock, and his solution to the Master Chief problem is throw the Spartan into space.
Yep.
We've been here. We've done
Yes.
this. The Covenant knows that doesn't work.
Brutes are stupid, so.
Their armor is explicitly designed to let them survive that occurring.
Yeah, but you know, it's kind of the. I mean, look. Comically evil is kind of how brutes are written.
Yes.
And I can sort of understand it in the whole, like, oh, you're gonna die slowly of dehydration, floating in the depths of space, knowing you'll never be able to do anything about the destruction of your people.
Yes. Right? So, okay, fine. We get some dude who escapes in a pelican, which is empty. So, A, fuck you, brother.
Yeah, right?
B,
That gets explained later.
he starts out he starts out with a shaved head and a clean-shaven face. And he's sealing some breach on his pelican. He falls off a box, whacks his head, and then, oh, look, there's the hologram with your wife and kids, and it plays the hologram with his wife and kids. Okay, we're trying to establish a human connection. I don't know why you're trying to do that, because this is Halo, and the only human connection I've ever needed is the Master Chief. And a huge part of the series is about him becoming more human, right? Like, you could throw in some random Marines here and there, but really, I don't I don't need some deep human connection. I really don't.
See,
the only
here's the
human
problem,
I
right?
give a shit
Maybe
about
go ahead and bring Blue
is
Team in.
Johnson.
So
It's
yeah,
the only human I give a shit
true.
about.
The issue I have
Rookie.
with
I also
this
care about
is
Rookie.
that this was a very much during diversity era slop game for slop people.
I was gonna say, I'm not even touching the diversity stuff. This is just like a what the hell, because we finished this cut of this guy looking at his family.
But the reason why I'm bringing that up is because it plays a key part in the failure of the characterization for this Marine.
I see.
Like,
which, to be
if
clear,
you were
I'd
getting
rather they
like,
not.
Sure.
Cortana's
Obviously, if you have an option to not have this really random flashback from Marine you don't give a shit about, you much rather not have it at all. But if, like, somehow, say hypothetically, Sergeant Johnson's not dead, Sergeant Johnson's the one in the Pelican, and he's the one that picks you up, or it's Faux Hammer, or, any of the other characters that we never got characterization for beyond, the 6 lines they say. Then they have, a whole moment of, them remembering hearing about Master Chief or their family or why they fight. Okay, that's fair enough. You're characterizing someone we've already been introduced to. Okay. I get you. But the problem here is that this is a new character, and they're shoving the characterization down your throat to try and force the connection to this new character. And why are they doing this? It's because they don't know how to write this character, and because their writing is so dog shit, because, God, I fucking hate that guy, because I played the Infinite campaign when it came out. God, I fucking hate that guy. He's a fucking whiny little bitch.
I was saying, that's exactly what I was going to go. Right. First of all, we have an indefinite time cut.
Yeah.
Where this guy has gone from full shave. Right. I'm not misremembering that, Sneaky. Right. Full bald.
No. Yeah. He went on the whole. Yeah.
Full shave. And when we cut to this guy, suddenly he has beautifully coiffed hair and a fully manicured beard.
Yeah.
Which, okay. Listen, I recognize that on some men, a full beard could be a week or two. I recognize that.
No, I do know some people that are like that.
No, sign. I really do know some people. Like if my brother or my listen, all the hair retreated from the top of their heads and went into their back and their beards.
If my stepbrother doesn't shave regularly, he becomes full Durka in about 2 weeks.
I would say, on some particularly bad days, I have seen my father and my brother shave in the morning, and you can actually see 5 o'clock shadow.
Yep.
By 5 o'clock. I don't mean some
5 o'clock shadow.
I know, sign, but for most people, it's a joke. It's not for those two. If they left it alone, they will get there, right? But so we have this guy gaining, right? Even if the beard could be 2 weeks, this fully coiffed set of hair is at least a month. It's at least. I want to be clear. A month is pushing it, but a minimum 1 month, and this dude's still got air and power in the Pelican.
Not only that, though, you're also implying that he's been eating really high-quality meals.
Yeah, because he's not skeletal. He's growing hair.
Yeah, he's growing hair at a rapid rate.
So I had assumed that he went to the ring or what the fuck ever.
Nope.
No, he's in the Pelican. He's never landed on the ring until now.
I'm sorry. He was scavenging from the ship.
Nope.
Ship crashed.
And we know that he can't have been moving because the second he uses power and moves that Pelican, the Banished show up. Which also I want to point out it has to have been at least months, if not a year, because Atriox throws you out of the Infinity. But when you come to, Atriox is dead, and there's been time to memorialize him across every banished ship in looping hologram messages.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That is
wasn't the
not
whole,
something that happens.
That was
I don't
Halo
care
2,
what the
right?
technology.
Halo Wars 2?
Yes, that was part of Halo Wars 2. I did not play
Yeah.
Halo Wars 2. The only thing I know about Halo Wars 2 is that they gave Johnson a Gundam, and I'm
Yes.
super there for this.
Yep.
Because they said, hey, guys, that Gundam-ass looking Mjolnir suit we made for Halo Infinite was pretty swell. Let's bring that back. And I applaud that decision. And they should do it in a mainline game, the cowards. Bandai, I hope you're listening. Make that crossover happen.
True.
There's money to be made.
But yeah,
but
he's
we
a total bitch.
We get this guy woken up, and he wants to go home. Which, okay, fine. But here's my problem. He knows who the chief is. He's like, oh my god, I've got the Master Chief. I can go home. No. You just woke the Master Chief up. Congratulations. You are the personal chauffeur of the closest thing to the Doom guy this universe has ever seen.
Yeah.
You are now the driver for the man who's going to single-handedly turn this around. You're driving for the Master Chief. Shut the fuck up, nut the fuck up, and buckle in, Buttercup.
Yeah,
What
no.
in the world have I missed that Atin is throwing out a phrase like that?
Well, basically,
Halo.
The Halo Infinite
the opening
main
to Halo.
campaign,
No shit sign.
Yeah, the Halo Infinite main campaign has a really bitchy main character that, well, so I call him main character. So again, this is why I brought up the whole diversity DEI bullshit, is because they are trying to force him to be the air quotes main character of the story, because he constantly has shit to say throughout the campaign, constantly is interjecting into stuff, constantly is bitching, whining, and moaning, and you're supposed to like have this, that the reason why they showed his family at the start is because it's basically a poor man's fire starter kit of, we wanted you to care about this guy, but if he just starts bitching and moaning, we know you won't like him. So we're going to try and show that he has a family, so you feel like he's a person that you know now. And so therefore, his bitching and moaning is now relatable instead of annoying. Which, again, only hack writers need to rely on something like that, because they're fucking hack writers, and they know the character they're gonna make is gonna piss people off because they're fucking hack writers.
And here's the problem. There's so many ways that you could have made this guy palatable. I mean, first of all, you really should have just done any of the characters we already had. Like, you know what would have been great? You know what would have been great for the humanizing element? Have the chief one by one finding the members of Blue Team, and then at the end of the game, you're rocking up to this final brute boss with the entirety of Blue Team, and they're playing the Halo Run theme, right? I say Halo Run, right? The variations of the same theme that happens at the end of the game when you have to get in a Warthog and drive for your life.
Yep.
And you could have done that. Or you know what else you could have done? You know who's a Spartan 4 still? Buck!
Yeah.
Oh my god. If you had me palling around, if you made a buddy cop Halo game of Master Chief and Buck palling around, you don't need anything else. Buck is all the comedic relief you require.
Exactly.
Bring back
He's designed that way.
They would have fucked it up.
Oh, they totally would have fucked it up. But the other
they
key
would have,
part,
but
the other key part as to why they introduced this character was because they're hacks, and it was probably a self-insert from one of the writers.
I would say, and he's
100%
vaguely Hispanic, like.
Oh yeah, he's Hispanic.
Because he's not
100%.
Oh, no, I know, but like he's not Mexican. Like he's not identifiably any specific Hispanic.
Sure, well that's because you got to keep in mind that the people who made him are racists, and they can't tell the difference between them, so they made him a not idealized, but like caricature of what they think a Hispanic looks like.
I thought he was a blended like Hispanic Indian or something.
I was saying, I've
really
only
matter.
done the first bit of the game, so I can't tell you that part. But like, it's just like, why? Why are we doing that? Why are you doing it this way? Like,
we gotta make Cortana
No one's
ugly and
accused
put
them of
clothes
being
on her.
smart.
Ugh.
oh, and by the way, I went and I read up on everything. Oh boy, I sent a whole rant to Max about this.
I fucking
For
hated
some
that
reason,
shit.
Cortana didn't die at the end of
Yeah.
4. She got
Yeah.
uploaded to Magic Forerunner Brainland. Okay,
Yep.
fine, sure, whatever. And while there, she discovered humanity's greatest treasure, Gundam 00, and decided that celestial being really did have a point, and I should enforce peace through superior firepower.
Yep.
Fair.
Except she didn't finish the part of the series where part of the entire point of celestial being was to get themselves hated.
Well,
In
no,
fact,
didn't she?
their
No,
eventual
didn't.
defeat was
No,
planned
I'm
for.
pretty sure like part of her whole plan was becoming the orchestrated villain of humanity as well.
Yeah, all that too.
That was
She
like
pulled some
Halo
bullshit.
5 or whatever, Halo 5 or 6 it was, where she was like, "Oh, I know what I'm doing is evil, but that's the whole point because I want me to be the villain, so I'll control the villainness for humanity,
So
and
she can
that way I
drag
can
humanity
guide
to improve.
humans." Yeah. It was so fucking ass. It was so fucking stupid. I hated it so fucking much. I hate 343. Everyone involved in it should be hung in the streets. That's my opinion on it. I don't care that they've rebranded to Halo Studios. You know what they did? They went out and made a new month of minority group colors for the new season of Halo. Instead of anything else, instead of fixing anything, instead of restoring confidence in any other way, no, their big announcement for Halo recently was, hey guys, we made new flags for new minority groups.
No, actually, the biggest thing they did was go, hey, Halo 3 was pretty great. We'll bring that back. They did a whole thing with the playlet. Like, that's the biggest thing they've done so far is classic mode.
I'm sorry, but if you ever have to do classic mode, while things are shit, it's always evidence to me that you are a failure of a company. Like if you're doing like classic mode when things are good, it's because everyone involved is having fun and they want to keep having fun and remember good old times. When you bring classic mode out when things are shit, you are like, hey guys, remember when we were good? Please give us a 7th chance. Please give us our final 7th chance. This is Blizzard's last chance. This is Halo. This is Microsoft Studios' last chance for real this time.
Isn't it more like the 17th chance for Blizzard?
Look, they need their 55th yacht, okay? Bobby just needed one more yacht, then he can solve world hunger.
Bobby, good old boy Kotick, needs to sexually harass more interns.
Look, the last yacht wasn't gold plated.
No, sorry, to be clear, that's not that happened.
Yeah,
like
that wasn't that wasn't that actually
that is in court records. That happened.
Yeah. They also had a Cosby room. They called it the Cosby room. It's where they drugged and raped people.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, sign. Blizzard went really off the rails.
I just hear? That is cursed information.
Oh yeah. No, what's more cursed information is this is actually a recent issue at Blizzard. This is not during the heyday of getting drunk at work. Hey guys, I got a great idea for a new game mode, Blizzard. This is post-corruption, post-Activision, post-collapse Blizzard. There was a problem back in 2019 when all this shit was coming out, where someone was like, oh yeah, and someone just recently started stealing breast milk from the fridge.
Yeah, I remember the breast milk thing. because it was just that fucking weird.
Which, I mean, I have a lot of problems with that. Your baby shouldn't be in the office. Period. The office is for working,
Yeah,
not
no
taking
shit.
care of your child. Your focus while you're in the office should be working, not taking care of your child. And if you have a problem with that, go home and take care of your child. And the office can replace you with someone who will work.
I would say, my office has a great solution. One of my coworkers, she's got a baby. He's about 6 months old. You know what she does? She works half of every day in the office, to be in the office, to be present, to be connected with the team, and to take care of the things in a manufacturing. To take care of things in a manufacturing environment that requires someone to physically be in the building, right?
Sure.
Look at this part, do this return, whatever, right? Talk to the engineers, meet with suppliers, whatever. And then she goes home and works for half of it. And it works great.
Yeah. I mean, some jobs can handle that, some jobs can't, and
yeah. Of course, there are some jobs where that just isn't feasible. But
yeah,
making video games is absolutely one of those jobs.
No, I don't think it is. I think so. Here's the main problem with that. It's like, technically, can you work independently and code independently? Yes. But you end up with a very disjointed game, and we've seen that plenty of times with all of the recent titles. All of these titles were coming off the remote work era, and they all fucking suck. And sure, yeah, some of it's diversity, but a lot of it I'm going to actually blame on the fact that because no one is actually seeing everyone else and seeing what everyone else is working on, what everyone else is doing.
I mean, here's the counterpoint. A bunch of Baldur's Gate 3 was developed by people during the pandemic who were doing just that.
Right, but Larian's a good company. See, this is what I'm saying, though. It's like
a smaller team.
Well, it's also a smaller team.
No, Larian is a very large team now.
Nowadays,
when they were developing Baldur's Gate 3, that was not a small team.
What was the size of their team through Baldur's Gate 3 development?
Okay, I have to Google that, but
I mean, even if it was 300 people, that's still a tenth of what a AAA studio is.
If you want an actual rebuttal to what Sneaky's saying, it's the fact that we saw games before COVID that were released before COVID that were already becoming disjointed, and it's usually a team size issue. And those teams.
But that actually kind of proves my point, though. Is my point with why I don't like remote work for video game development is the same reason as why large teams don't work for video game development, and it's because if everyone is not on the same page, constantly talking to each other and spurring on each other's passions for the game, what you're gonna get is a bunch of fucking Lego modules from different Lego sets, and one Bionicle.
So no, that doesn't really prove your point, but it certainly okay. I don't think it proves your point, but I think your point proves that large teams tend to suffer, and when you split them up for remote work, it's just going to make it even worse.
Yeah,
Veilguard could have been a slightly better experience if it hadn't been work from home, which I'm sure they were encouraging.
I think Veilguard.
I'm not saying it would be good. I'm saying it would have been a better game. That doesn't.
Even if
it would have gone from a 2 to a 3.
No. So even if you remove the diversity from it, imagine there is no diversity in it at all, it would still suck.
I'm not even talking about that.
I know. I'm talking to Sign. Even then, it would still suck as a game because it was mobile gameplay. The game mechanics were lame. The companion construction was lame. The story beats were lame. Completely separated from the diversity in the characters and all of that shit. Just the raw beats were lame.
Yes. Okay. Also, real quick, I don't
think that could be fixed by them being in the office together. I think that's a management issue. I think that's a direction issue, not a passion issue.
It was 400. It was more than 450 people. So says the internet. It doesn't tell me how many more. So
50?
That's still small compared to AAA companies. Ubisoft is 13,000 people.
That's also larger than I would have thought. I'd have thought.
Oh yeah, certainly.
300.
I thought.
To be clear, it is absolutely massive for a CRPG. When they made Divinity Original, I think. Hang on, I have to double check my release dates. But Divinity Original Sin came out in, oh god, Sneaky, how old is this going to make me feel?
Divinity Original Sin, that was around 2014, I think.
Yeah, it was. Oh boy.
Ah,
That had 40
yes!
people working on it. That had 40 people working on it. Now, to be clear, Original Sin is a much less ambitious game than something like Baldur's Gate 3. But yeah, that was like, it's a fantastic RPG, CRPG, and that was 40 people.
Well, yeah, you don't need a team of 100 plus to make a good game.
You really don't.
You need good workers to make a good
And
game.
I mean, the most painful aspect of Baldur's Gate 3 and why I'm not buying the game and I'm probably never going to play it is the fact that Act 3 is literally the diversity act.
What do you mean by that?
Have you got to Act 3?
Yes. I spent most of my time killing shit.
The number of characters with assorted hair colors drastically increases in Act 3. The writing quality that people were sending me snippets of drastically decreases in Act 3.
Also, literally,
and I've
all
heard
of your companions
nothing. And pretty much every review I've ever seen for the game was Act 1 was fantastic. Act 2 was okay. Act 3 sucked. I hated it.
I really didn't have any problems with Act 3. Like, I really didn't have problems with Act 3. And yes, sign. All of the players all of the characters are trying to bone you. They start trying to bone you from Act 1, brother. That's not new.
You know,
like
I will
it
say
gets worse in Act 3.
I'm not saying it doesn't, but it's not like it
that.
comes out of left field. Sign. They are all player sexual.
Yeah, I really kind of am not a huge fan of that. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I remember in the old Coder days where like some of the characters would be like, "Hey, yeah, so I'm just not into you," and you'd be like, "Oh, okay, cool. I'm not into you either."
Yeah.
Cool. So we're still friends.
Shit, man.
Yeah.
Guess what?
And then
Juhani is the first. I gotta say, Juhani is the first lesbian I can remember in a video game, especially the first one that you can have a imply a relationship with, and they really lean into a stereotype because she is just the angriest, butchest cat girl.
Yes. But then also at the same time, Coder was a game that where if you got their relationship to a certain point, and they could be like, "Oh, do you want to be romantic?" and you'd be like, "No," and they're like, "Okay, cool. So our relationship is going to keep improving, but we're just going to be friends." And I don't see that anymore in games. It's now just relationship 50, friend. 51, we're trying to fuck. If you say no, we're stuck at 50 forever. It's like, okay, that's.
Or if you say no, they get pissy about it and try to guilt trip you into, like Fiji 3 did. Some of the characters did try to guilt trip you, Asterion especially.
Yeah, so it's just I'm not a huge fan of new shit. It tends to be shit. But anyway, fanfiction discussion. So I have one topic before we get into the fanfic I've been displaying this whole time, which we're gonna read Sign's review of before we actually get into it reading, because this was a request by the person who posted it to our server. Well, I say request, and more that they posted it asking for constructive criticism, and I'm here, so they're getting slapped up on the big screen. So the thing before this is we're gonna talk about Sign's old beta, Chinlamp, who proved once again to be an absolute retard when it comes to any opinions concerning fanfiction. Because he decided to roll in. Someone posted a story to the recommendation channel on Sign's server, and someone asked, "Why is this story good?" And they said, "I don't know. I liked it." And
what?
Our response was, "Well, if you can't tell us why you liked it, then it should either go into shit Rex or mid Rex. Because if you can't tell us why it's good." Why is it good? Why are you putting it in the good story?
About it, right?
Yeah.
You gotta give us something. Like,
yeah.
I'm reading. There's a couple of, and I can only describe them as junk food stories that I'm reading on Royal Road. And why do I like them? Because you know what? Fun little power fantasies. Or you know what?
Junk food.
Right, yeah, exactly. And that's all you need to say, really. It's like, I'm going to recommend this story. So, guys, I'm going to recommend this story. I just want to say beforehand, it's a power fantasy. It's a junk story. I have fun with it because the characters are funny, the events are
The
funny,
writing's good, whatever.
The writing's good. Yeah, like I'm not asking for a fucking soliloquy or epic written on why the story is good. I'm just saying, hey, tell me why you liked it.
Yeah. Like there's a as an example, lit RPGs. Normally I hate them, but there's one called Dead End Guildmaster. And this one's great because it has a barely there system in that it's a fantasy universe with magic powers. The only quests the main character gets are him keeping an imaginary quest log in his head to organize his life.
Fair.
Okay.
But yeah,
anyway.
it's about a guy who I was just gonna say the quick summary. It's about a dude who wanted to try to make it to platinum rank adventurer, and he capped out at gold. And now he has to. His punishment is he's sent to the middle of bumfuck nowhere, and then shit happens.
Fair. But anyway, so Chinlamp comes in saying that we're being too hard on him, demanding that we get an answer to why you liked a story, because liking a story is subjective, and there's no objective way of measuring if a story is good or not.
We're not asking for the objective reason the story's good. We're asking you, sir, why you liked the story.
But that's the thing, though, is I was like, but there is objective ways of telling if a story is good or not. Like, there are objective levels of standard. Like, I'm not saying if a story reaches this level, it's therefore a good story. But you can say, if a story meets this standard, you can say things like, its grammar is great. They use great dialogue tags. Like, there is, separate from a personal opinion, things you can say about a story on why its quality is considered good. Because obviously, if you can't, then you also can't say a story is bad. And obviously, there's bad stories out there, which means there is a objective level that separates bad from good. And so, yeah, Chinlamp comes in saying that there is no possible way to qualify a story as objectively good. There is no standards
There
a
is.
story
And
can
you know what
match.
my standard is? My standard is Discworld, goddammit.
And so I come in, and I'm like, okay, but here's all the things that you can objectively list. And he's like, well, those are just subjective opinions. I'm like, no, you're fucking using the word wrong. You're a retard. He's like, oh, well, now you're calling me names. I'm like, yeah, because now I'm mocking you. I'm mocking you now because you're a retard who can't engage in conversation or debate. Because every example I've given you has been an example that objectively proves you wrong. And instead of going, okay, you're right about that, I guess I was wrong, I'll adjust my opinion now, you go, no, no, my opinion is better than your facts. So yes, I'm not engaging in debate with you anymore. Yes, I am ad hominem attacking you now because I am mocking you because you are a clown.
When you engage in bad faith like that, it's just like, no.
And then, at the end, having been thoroughly had his ass blown out by me, he goes, oh, guys, I was just playing devil's advocate.
Oh, you!
I was just pretending to be retarded, guys.
No, that's what I saw that.
So let me straight. He thinks that technical writing ability is subjective?
Yes.
Because can I take a fantasy story and say if it's objectively good or bad outside technical ability? Personally, no.
No,
but
it's even better.
Look at how it's structured, then I can start giving you an objective measure, like, oh, this grammar is really solid. This structure makes sense. I see you've introduced a brand new language, and you keep the rules consistent when you have that language on the page.
Yeah.
Which is an entirely different set of skills that blows my mind when I see someone do it successfully.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, speaking of which, he brings in Lord of the Rings. He's like, well, are you going to say Lord of the Rings is objectively a good story? Because I think it takes too long in some sections.
That's because you need to understand... A, that's an opinion. B, you need to understand the context of what
I
Tolkien
don't
was
think
writing.
he understands. Oh, what was it that I said exactly? Oh, I'm not gonna debate you anymore on this because I don't think you can read.
Oof.
God damn it, Sneaky.
No, hang on. I think Sneaky was in the right on this one. Okay. So, okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to process this. So he isn't willing to admit that technical writing ability is an objective measure we can use, and in
Yep.
general, that comes down to SPAG.
Yep.
Spelling, punctuation, and grammar.
Yep.
The technical writing ability is all there. When it comes to dialogue, there's a set structure you have to follow, but pacing for dialogue is a subjective measure. I don't like very fast pacing in dialogue.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make it bad, it just means I don't like it.
Exactly.
You can also objectively say this
there
dialogue is dry based on the
exactly.
SPAG used.
Not only that, there is an objective level for dialogue in where it's no longer an opinion. If like someone puts dialogue into a just like it's like a fucking whole 5 pages of back and forth dialogue, while technically correct, it's objectively bad narrative writing to just have 5 pages straight of only dialogue.
Yeah, you need to break that shit up a little bit.
Yeah, it's like there is literally objective standards, and he's like, no, those are all subjective.
There are definite objective measures for judging any kind of fiction, and subjective. Don't get me wrong, and there's nothing wrong with using subjective.
Oh yeah, no, I'm totally fine with people giving subjective opinions. Yeah.
If you're recommending it, I want your subjective opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you have to acknowledge that it is a subjective opinion you are giving.
It's deeply important.
Sure.
Like, listen, I love Discworld. I recognize that Terry Pratchett's writing style is just gonna put some people off. I think that's sad.
Oh yeah, he also said Discworld was bad.
You did that just to trigger Atin.
Yes, I did, but he actually did say it. I can even get a picture of it for you.
You want me to
I could hear Atin, the gears in his head just stopped.
Sneaky, I know. You want me to find it?
Yeah, go ahead and get a picture of it.
You, whoever you are, chin lamp, more like fucking chimp lamp. You will not besmirch Discworld, you heathen.
The second I saw that, I was like, oh, I gotta bring this up to Atin.
Either misspelled it or something else, because I'm not seeing in the search results.
That's so. Is this the same dude that dropped the story that Sign suddenly gave a random critique of that was unasked for?
No.
No.
So that's actually a story we're gonna cover right now.
Okay.
No, Chinlamp was my beta reader for.
Oh, sorry, no. Wheel of Time. He didn't say Discworld was bad. He said Wheel of Time was bad.
Nah. There's some parts of Wheel of Time that are garbage, including every attempt by that man to write a woman.
His exact reasoning was the chapters were too long.
Okay.
That's a subjective measure right
of
there.
All the
objectively,
things
they're long chapters, but subjectively, that's not your preference.
Hang on.
Yeah, so
objectively, there is objectively a length of chapter where it is it's too much. Cut it in half, or do something. And that's about the 5K word sweet spot is what I've found. Over that, and you start, you could have found a place.
Well, no, Sign that for fanfiction.
Oh,
maybe.
he also at one point tried, for a guy who's insulting me and saying, "Oh, well, you're just using logical fallacies now for this debate." He also, in the middle of the debate, tried to use an appeal to the group, where he said, "Oh, well, you're in the wrong Discord because this Discord is full of casual readers, not autistic people."
Okay. Hang on. Let me just add ableist to that checklist.
And I'm like, I literally was like, wait, hold up. You clearly have never read any conversation in this Discord.
I was gonna say,
No,
sign.
he knows. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Sign server is full of the opposite of casual readers. It's full of a bunch of triggered autistic whiny children.
True.
Yes.
But anyway, so I then finally respond with, so he goes, my majority rules was more it belongs here rather than it doesn't belong here because yes, you do have majority for it not belonging here. I said, good, I don't even know what you're talking about anymore. I've already disregarded your opinion as trash, since you're just wasting my time arguing that in fanfic anything can happen and there's no such thing as standards. No, I didn't.
God damn it.
All fiction is subjective.
I'm gonna
See,
subject
in the
you.
same
I'm gonna-
fucking breath of me, of denying me, of him saying those exact words, he says those exact words.
God damn it.
I'm gonna
this
subject
is
you to
not
some fiction
argue-
upside the head,
Oh.
boy.
Could you not
I'm being
argue
brought
left, right,
back.
and center with everyone?
I'm being
So,
brought
here it
back
is.
to the height of Battlefield Frontline and Sword or Discourse with a friend's younger brother, where he said, you have to give me objective reasons why Sworder has the better story over Battlefield.
Wait,
What?
Okay, it has a
Wait,
fucking story
what?
for one.
It's just
It
like,
has a
what
story.
What do you mean you want objective reasons? I don't have the scripts in front of me. I can't give you a breakdown of their spag.
Right, so here it is.
He's
I found the exact statement from me. You can't
Oh.
say I invented your opinions when you apparently can't read English.
I mean,
God.
he's not wrong.
Damn it.
He is not, but oof.
Oh god, yeah, just going through this, it's like, dude, you're fucking retarded. You are a clown. You are in the circus, and I am laughing at you.
You are in the circus. You're waiting for a Fire Emblem 4 remake.
Like,
Leave me
could
alone.
you
Don't attack me.
not-
Don't put me in the same boat with him.
Max, I'm putting myself in that boat too.
Sneaky,
I
could you
will
not
not be
start
lowered to this
shit with
man's
everyone on my
level.
server?
I refuse!
Please?
I will not
Unfortunately for you,
tolerate a
Sign,
retarded opinion in my presence.
Unfortunately, Sign, you have
Us-
allowed a man who chooses violence consistently when he wakes up to be in your server.
Yes, I am aware. That's why he fits in. Again,
Then stop asking
me,
him to not do what he
Goku.
always does.
Tone it down a little. Have some self-respect.
This is toned down.
Yeah, I don't know how to
Believe
tell
it
you this,
or
brother,
not.
but this is toned down, Sneaky.
God damn it. Tone it down a few more notches.
Man,
not
hey
how
Max,
sneaky
remember
works.
that time a server admin resurrected me in the middle of a game, gave me a pistol, I shot him in the back of the head with it?
Oh yeah, in TTT. Don't know why he did that. You were actually the traitor.
What's the funny? No, that's the best part. I was just killing people.
I know, but you were the traitor in that round.
Oh. Here, take
Oh,
this gun. There's one
no.
traitor left. Bam.
Yeah, no, Sneaky, don't forget that happened twice.
Yeah.
Both times you were the traitor both times, but one of the times was you had been RDM'd.
Yes, yeah. That's what it was, yeah.
Or so your fellow traitor had convinced the admin.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh
good
yeah,
old days.
no. TTT matches with the group we ran with were very interesting. when
Yeah,
we did
Sign,
pub
I used to
matches.
practice psychological warfare on a daily basis, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
can
once
tell.
won a match as a traitor without firing a single bullet, and by that I mean I actually didn't fire a single bullet. My partner didn't do any work. I just convinced everyone to handle it themselves.
Yeah.
Which is
No,
how the
yeah,
smart traders do.
yeah, those are good
So
days.
listen,
yeah.
the next time Sneaky tells you he's not a spook, remember this.
He's definitely a spook. Gotcha.
No, I'm too extreme for a spook. They would have me in
No,
rehab
you're
training
not.
instantly.
No, you're the exact kind of person the spooks recruit.
Oh, I don't know. But anyway, so that leads us into this. So someone posted for a review of a story they writ on AO3, which is why this is here. And Sign left a old man review, which was a really Alzheimer's take, I will say, on a review. Because he was kind of everywhere about it. Some sections of the review were randomly like, oh, this is grammar issues. Some sections of the review were like, oh, well, if you want to sell this story on Amazon. And it's just kind of just like, there was a real whiplash of a review where, like, he would just suddenly jump to a new thing that's wrong with your story without any real segue or explanation or relation
I was
between
doing the
anything.
review as I was reading,
I'm aware you were
and
doing that.
I eventually just got fucking fed up with it. And
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
Yeah, it's very obvious. So anyway, and Sign does bring up some good points occasionally about how like a whole shit ton of stuff was in italics, and that's bad because if you use italics everywhere, then italics don't matter anymore. Let's see. They also
Leading with the flashback.
Yeah, the whole flashback thing. There was also the issue in which they decided to introduce a new language in Chapter 1 during a flashback of the character while they were a baby, which adds a whole, like, giga layer of layers to this whole issue of apparently the baby remembers every exact word used, except they only remembered most of the words and didn't translate some of the words. Because it's like, look, I get it. You want your story to have fantasy language, and, you know, sci-fi can kind of get away with tumors and shit like that. I think it's lame. I think it's stupid. You like... Someone asked me recently for D&D. They wanted me to come up with racial slurs for centaurs, right? And...
Oh.
No, this is important to how language works. It doesn't work like that. Like, any sort of slur you could come up with for centaurs would not be an actual slur for centaurs. It would be a mimetic slur based off of already commonly known slurs for other groups that you are parodying for the purpose of making fun of centaurs. If you were trying to generate an actual racial slur that someone in a medieval fantasy world would actually use against a centaur, you need to take into account a whole bunch of things. What kind of jobs are the centaurs doing? What place in society do they have? The whole gauntlet of why racial slurs occur. And of course, the classic is just saying their homeland in a derogatory way. But like, there's no way to just quote unquote generate a racial slur out of the blue. Like, it's all based on either a reference to their skin color, their religion, the land they came from, or more importantly, their social class, what kind of jobs they work. There's a lot of them.
Now, you could do something like you could probably get away with making a slur of like calling them mules or pack animal, like packy or something.
Right,
but
exactly.
Then you're getting a little too close to an actual slur.
Right, sure. But here's the other thing, though, right? Is the second part of a racial slur is you're supposed to be insulting the person you're using it against. It's supposed to be a derogatory towards the group you are using it against. And if the group, in this case, centaurs, but these are classically Greek centaurs. These are not new fantasy centaurs who are just swell old guys who are half horses. We're talking classical Greek rapist, murderous
Rapists.
barbarians who will drink alcohol as they play games, ripping you limb from limb and eating you raw. Calling them a pack mule isn't going to insult them. It's just going to make them kill you first.
I mean, no, they are insulted, and that's why they're killing you first.
Yes.
No. See, if you were to compare a group of warriors to a beast of burden, yeah. You're especially if they're like some kind of air quotes honor-bound society. Yeah, they're gonna be
they
insulted,
aren't,
and that's why they're killing you first.
They aren't honor-bound. They're chaos-bound. They're literally just chaos centaurs. They're just centaurs.
Oh,
okay.
Well, yeah. Then they're gonna be pissed off at you because look at me, warrior. I'm not a slave or a servant or whatever. Like,
yeah. My point was more. They're more just going to kill you because you made a noise near them rather than the noise you made at them.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you could have just said, "Hey, you fine gentlemen," and they would still target you all the same. So yeah, so it was a situation where I was just like, look, they are literally centaurs. There is no way, because the other thing is you would use the racial slurs to communicate with other people who also hated them, and like the slur has to make sense in context. Again, usually derived from their place in society, and so there's no real racial slur you can make for centaurs.
Yeah, they have no society.
There's no society. There's no place in in your society for centaurs besides they're pillaging rapist barbarians, and that's it. You know, what about them rapists? It's like, well, okay, well, which ones are you talking about? But yeah, so beastmen in general are all in this world for D&D. And they're all basically Warhammer versions of the Beastmen. So they're all rapist barbarians. And it's like, okay. Using rapist barbarian doesn't exactly narrow down which group you're talking about.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're chaos worshippers. The most you're doing when you say rapist barbarian is excluding Zinch and Nurgle. You've excluded 2 out of 4.
Yeah.
Have you really excluded?
Yes.
Yes. But anyway, so point being though is that maybe on the front lines you could get away with like a derogatory term. That's not so much of a racial slur as it is just a enemy combatant derogatory term, which is typically used by people on the front lines to downplay the threat of the enemy.
Yeah.
Like cherries for Germans or krauts, etc.
Right. You're just a food object. You're not actually a threat. Yeah. So that's
Frenchie,
the whole
you're
thing.
A frog.
You're just a Yankee.
Yeah. Or right.
Yankees.
But even then, those are likely to be based on a physical characteristic or something, right? Like, why did jackals get called jackals? I don't know. They kind of looked like a jackal.
Right.
Why did grunts get called grunt? Because they got used as cannon fodder. Why were the elites split lips? Well, they got a 4-hinged mouth.
Yeah. Exactly. And
like, yes, by the way, I'm sure there was at least one human woman who asked, okay, but what that mouth do?
Exactly. I mean, there was in that Halo TV show that totally happened.
Silence?
No, that did not happen.
Yes, it did. So anyway, point being, but it's like centaurs. It's like, what are you gonna say? Oh, hey, you hooved guy.
Horse dick.
Yeah, but they're proud of their horse dick.
At that point.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's there's not a lot you can actually say in terms of like derogatory racial characteristics to a centaur, or to a minotaur, or just generally beastmen in general, because in this world, beastmen are not. You have born beastmen, but beastmen originated from humans who worshipped chaos, and chaos was like, cool, here's an animal trait that you wanted. And so you got some minotaurs and centaurs and,
the first ones who did it never got picked up.
Yeah.
Well, you could call them things like geldling or steer or stuff like that. Implying,
yeah, but that's like not really a. It doesn't have a punchy insult to it. It's like, oh, you animal trait. It's like, yes, I know, I am a horse. Haha.
No, those are specific. You know what gelding is?
I'm aware.
Yeah, sign. We know what a gelding is.
Yeah.
But you also have to keep in mind the rapist
you
barbarians.
Have no balls.
Yeah.
Yeah, and rapist barbarians being told, hey, you got no balls.
Yes, but a rapist barbarian doesn't know what a geldling is. Yeah, now you see the issue.
Yeah.
That's
they
what I'm saying.
Raise some kind of animals of their own?
No, they rape and pillage.
Even the Huns, who are notorious rape and pillage, raise their own animals. And
yeah, they don't. They only rape and pillage. Chaos god, magic, all that fun stuff. They kind of.
We're still talking about classical Greek centaurs, right?
We're talking about it's based on centaurs from Warhammer and these centaurs in this D&D campaign are both based on the classical Greek centaur.
Okay, yeah.
Based
so if we're talking about classical Greek centaur,
based on, not based on. They are inspired by the original myths, not they are the original myth.
Okay, because I was about to say the original myth centaurs, yeah, they absolutely had herd animals. They did do the raping and pillaging, but they also had herd animals.
Right,
basically.
But they were. He's inspired by the stories for them, not.
Yeah, not
everything.
The actual.
Yes. So, yeah. So, point being though is that yes, they are quite literally just there to rape, pillage, be barbarians. And the reason why they really don't have to worry about society in general is because their whole chaos religion is based on the idea that everything always changes, everything always needs to change, and if you're too weak to get food that day, you deserve to die.
Okay. Survival of the fittest.
Yes. But anyway,
Warhammer Fantasy was not known for its highbrow depictions of the enemy.
True. But anyway, brings it all back to the source of new words and language. Sci-fi likes to think it's some sort of highbrow shit when it creates new words. It's lame, it's stupid, it's almost never good. Because half the words they try and create are like, oh, but like in the future, people are going to call friends chooms.
Oh, okay, Why? Okay, now hold on. That's cyberpunk specifically, and in that specific instance, they're blending like 6 different fucking languages together to get the common dialect. Let me look it up. I bet you I can tell you which one it comes from.
Yeah, I don't really care. Here's the thing. Anyone that's in my position of not being an obsessive cyberpunk fan is going to come in, see all these different words that make no fucking sense, that aren't in the language they speak, even though they set the game to that language, and they're going to be like, what's with all these fucking words? What's a choom? And yeah, eventually, over time, they're going to understand through context clues the various things. I mean, fucking Shadowrun does this too. Chummer. Because it's like, oh, well, we call them chummers because we all die eventually, and then our bodies get used as chum to feed other people and livestock and shit or something. And it's like, okay, I can see where that came from, but you got to keep in mind that majority of people aren't going to be looking for those little tiny lore tidbits. And so when you include shit like that into your story, you make it harder for the person to grasp onto your story. And now, Tolkien, how Tolkien did it, unlike every other fantasy story or fictional story, Tolkien was like, hey, yeah, so I'm translating all of these stories about the real lore of the world, and this is all being translated into British English. So I'm going to be using replacement words if I can. It's like, okay.
Yeah. Tolkien didn't make a story. He made a damn language primer. Okay?
Yeah, I'm aware, but the point
Tolkien
being...
explicitly made a mythology sign, we all know.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, he literally went out to make the mythology on purpose, so, you know, good for him.
Yes.
The point being, though, is that he set up the scenario of, hey, I'm translating all of this. Some words don't have translations, so I'll be using those words. But in majority, I'm translating it. So it's going to be using British English. They're not going to be talking like they would if they were using the native language. They're going to be talking like British people because I am translating it to British. And I think that's a big problem.
Like, hang on.
Yeah.
Let me look it up.
I'm waiting.
Okay. Like, the names. Like, Samwise Gamgee. That's obviously not Samwise Gamgee. It was translated from some bullshit. There we go. I think that's it. Yeah, Frodo is Maura Labengi or some shit. Bilbo is Bilba. So
yes, that's my point though. Is instead, like, can you imagine how little of a grasp Lord of the Rings would have if he came out and used shit like Bilbo Frangie went to the Sousa Kuduk?
Yeah. Oh no.
Benazar Galipsy. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Can you imagine how few people would read this fucking story if he did that? If he didn't translate everything into British?
He translated it.
Right. That's the point. Is if he didn't translate it, because all of these modern day fictions, and again, this is important because this story does this, and this is why I'm bringing it up. Is all of these modern day fictions have this idea that they need to jam new words in to seem cool and different from everyone else. And the guy who invented modern fantasy was like, yeah, I probably shouldn't jam my story full of bullshit words. No one will like that. I'm going to, air quotes, translate it all into the local dialect, which is British English.
Yeah, but they want to be special snowflakes. And they're looking at this point. And they're not taking the lesson that they should.
Right, I know. That's my point, though, is these invented words are lame and stupid and give people a harder time grasping your story. Now, on the flip side, if you want to invent something that is not already invented. Oh, we're taking place in a fantasy story, and we're going to have a new profession called a resonance alchemist. And what do? They find the symbolic resonance of materials and use alchemy to alter the material into a different material. Okay, fair enough. And, we're going to make some slang for them, too, because that's what happens. Oh, they're going resonators.
Yeah, but that's all still derived straight from English. It's easily understandable.
Right.
You're not getting overly complicated with it.
Exactly.
It's easily consumable.
If you come out and you're like, yeah, hey, so I'm going to make a new profession. It's called the Gabajugabaga. They flinglebury the Gajumadab. it's like, yeah, okay, I'm not gonna read this story then. I'm not going to learn a new language just so I can possibly read your story.
Well, all right. So in some instances, you can get away with it if your character doesn't speak Elvish or Vulcan or what the fuck ever, and they interact with them and they just throw a whole slew of shit out and they had to work on the translation process. Yeah, okay, that's
Oh,
fine.
I mean, Aragon
Figure it out
literally does that
eventually.
with the dwarves and with the elves, where the dwarves
Yeah.
and the elves are speaking in their language at some parts, and Aragon, representing the reader, shows genuine irritation because he's like, I don't understand what the fuck you're saying. I know you're probably talking about me, and it's pissing me off.
Yeah. Also, your Sneaky, your new position, your new job, dwarf
Yeah.
fucker. Dwarfs aren't
true.
real, by the way.
True. But anyway, so Sign's review of the story is generally on point. He does bring up as well the retard words. My apologies, high philatrix. True. Yeah, so the dude kind of just throws in a whole bunch of fucking words. And then this is where Sign goes off the rails and he starts talking about, like, publishing the story. But he's like, oh, well, you should compromise your story to cater to the TikTok crowd because that'll earn you more money. And that's what I do. And, like, he just really starts rambling Joe Biden style.
All right, listen. I gave him the same advice that give to me, which is you need to catch and hold the reader's attention inside the first 1 to 2,000 words, or they're going to go, meh, why am I reading this?
Yeah, but I said it in a way different
TikTok
way, and
slop
you just
attention
sounded like a
span.
rambling old man.
Sure. Okay. Yes. Yes, I had an old man moment. But am I wrong?
I'm not gonna comment.
So no, I'm not wrong. I said it in a shitty rambling way, yes. But I'm sorry. TikTok attention span has poisoned the minds of everyone reading this shit. And again, Infant was right when he gave me this advice.
Yeah, I gave you that advice
You
as
need
well.
to find, yeah, you did too. You need to find a way to capture their attention inside the first 1 to 2,000 words.
Yeah.
Or they're gonna drop it. And again, was I wrong about the advice I gave him on that?
No, you were absolutely, holy fuck. Why is it orange outside? What the fuck?
That's the smog, Sneaky. It's drifting over from China today.
Damn, that is some wild shit going on. That's like the clouds aren't thick enough to block out the sun entirely. So as the sun is setting on the horizon, the light's still filtering through the clouds. So everything is turning like this Nevada orange.
Yeah, red sky take warning. Sailor take warning.
Oh, I mean, yeah, no, it's totally fucking thunderstorming right now. It's crazy. We're gonna get hit hard by a storm for like the next entire day. So it's true. But yeah, point being though is that you rambled on a bit and you got really confrontational with Arn, which you of all people should know that you can't argue with Arn because it's like arguing with a cheese grater. All you're gonna do is injure yourself.
I long ago gave up on arguing with that child.
I mean, am I wrong?
No, that's what I'm saying. I said I long ago gave up on arguing with that child.
Yeah, I did kind of give myself a headache there.
Yeah. So, and yes, the general gisting rule of writing is that you want to catch people's attention. People try to do this through in media res. In media res is usually dog shit. Gonna be real.
I don't like it media res. I've used it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be useful. It just is not as useful as people tend to think it is.
No.
Yeah. Damn, yeah, we're gonna get hit by like a whole hours of storm. Cool.
Yeah.
See, the thing I like about where I live in Jersey is that we have lots and lots and lots of trees, so flooding really isn't all that much of an issue. Because the trees slurp that shit up.
This man has never heard of what happened in Texas and in.
You mean what happened to Texas last week,
Tennessee.
or the week before that, or
well, no, see,
7 hours ago?
No, see the difference between everywhere else and New Jersey is our ground is also really soft and porous. So, like I said, like that shit gets slurped up. I have lived here for my entire life, barring like 4 or 5 years. There has never been a flood down here. Even during the hurricane.
Be on a natural incline.
Bro, I am in New Jersey.
Position.
There is no such thing as an elevated position. New Jersey is the flattest state in the East Coast. Except for North Jersey. That's like the one fucking pimple.
An elevation.
North Jersey is a pimple. But you know, we don't really
pay
attention
ass to the United States.
I mean, yeah, more or less, yeah. It's like a really weird mountain. It's like there's like it's like really flat everywhere, and then suddenly mountain. And you're kind of just like, what the fuck's going on?
Where the fuck's Jersey on this map?
Jersey.
Jersey hasn't moved,
south
buddy.
Of North of New York.
Oh yeah, we also have swamps and bogs around here, so they kind of absorb a lot of water too. We have a lot of bogs around here.
Yeah, that would also do it. Oh, there it is. Well, you are at a 70. 65, 70 feet of elevation above sea level. Yeah, somewhere around between 65 and 80 meters. I'm sorry. Ugh. I need that in American.
Yeah, is that the average for the state, or is that just one spot in Jersey?
That's the state average. That's the state average.
That's probably because of North Jersey. If you do just South Jersey, it's pretty much just flatlands and bogs. A lot of bogs. How many bogs are in New Jersey?
Well, how many witches do you have? That's an easy bit of math, Sneaky. Come on, you should remember this.
Bro, yes, I do not know how many witches we have.
What did they teach you in school? Listen, that was one of the most important things they taught us in Illinois. Because, listen, we don't have a lot of bog witches, but, oh boy, the ones we do have.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
I got on that one. Stay away from you.
I mean, listen, the one that lives under Chicago, oh, don't fuck with that one.
Oh, okay. Actually, it looks like we actually lost the cranberry capital of the world, crown to Wisconsin, but we are up there.
Wisconsin's not real. How'd you lose anything to them?
Yeah, no, see, no, that's exactly my point. Yeah, no, if you look at the fucking everything below Trenton is 66 and lower. And if you see a lot of it's at 7. We are a very flat state.
Are you flat staters?
We are flat staters.
Look, my state is lower than yours, and it's still there's areas where it's naturally hilly and it runs off here, there, and yonder, and it may look flat until you move away from that area, and then it's, oh, we were actually on a hill. Oh shit. That's
Oh,
why we get
I'm
floods.
sure that's not how it works in New Jersey, though. That everything. See, in New Jersey, everything is flat. Then you hit Central Jersey, and then suddenly there's hills, and then you go to North Jersey, and suddenly everything's mountains. That's just how it works.
Not fair.
And yes, of course, obviously there's hills. I used to live in a town that was built on a giant hill where half the town was on the hill and the other half of the town was not on the hill. I know there's hills in the area. It's just
All the shit rolls downhill.
there is very long stretches of just level ground.
I don't know. Then it sounds like you're just lucky.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I'm lucky to be in New Jersey, but you know.
Lucky New Jersey hasn't decided to flood you.
Gentlemen, I've just
here we
returned
go.
from the new Jurassic World movie. Dad wanted to go, and he paid for it. I had really expectations, but they still managed to disappoint even those. Oh, yeah, no,
Really
I
low
heard about that. It was a
expectations.
fucking shit show. They had two main characters who were the same character, and they were both diversity hires.
Huh? Wait. What happened to oh boy, Chris Pratt's character?
He was found too white and Christian for the show.
What the fuck? No, hold on. He was supposed to be the MC for all the new stuff.
Yep,
coming
yeah, and
forward.
then then he made some comments about COVID, and he got kicked out of everything.
Yep.
Uh-huh. Man, I hate Hollywood.
Yep. But yeah, so yeah, the Jurassic World movie is fucking dog shit. It was so fucking bad. Oh my god. I was watching snippets of it, and I was just like, holy shit, this is so lame. I can't wait for the EFAP episode on it, assuming they don't choose to spend 24 hours shitting on the new Super Diversity Man movie instead. They're probably gonna shit on the Super Diversity Man movie instead.
There's a new Superman movie.
Yeah, so James Gunn made
Have
a new
you
Superman movie.
not heard
And
about it?
right before it came out,
No, I thought that was
yeah,
a
so he
series.
just did an interview right before it comes out. Like it's gonna coming out in like a couple days, like a week or something. He just did an interview where he was like, "Yeah, this movie is super diverse, and it's about women and how they're psychopaths and want to kill people."
Wait, hang on. Is that the one with Steel in it?
No,
That they were saying,
that's
oh, this is that's the series.
no. The Man of Steel series is by Snyder.
No. I mean, all right. There's this short clip going around. People are saying, oh well, this looks better than the armor they did with Iron Man and any of the Iron Man. Blah blah bullshit. And they got
That's
the
Ironheart.
character Steel. No, they got the character Steel running, jumping off his little elevated thing, and his suit flies up behind him, explodes outwards, and then wraps around him. And it just looks like shitty mid 2000s CGI compared to even the first Iron Man.
I'm pretty sure that's when the Steel movie was made. Was early 2000s, like
Yeah.
Blue
90s.
Beetle.
Blue Beetle. No, it was not Blue Beetle.
Well, Sign,
hang on,
since
no,
you're saying
no.
this with such conviction, you can find us a trailer or a clip for it.
Yeah. Also, anyone who's about to say that Blue Beetle is about to like, brother, Blue Beetle has been diverse for a very long time. Like,
isn't he Mexican in the latest incarnation? Or is that just the DCAU version?
no, he has been Mexican for a significantly long portion of the comics run.
No, I didn't know that.
I mean, this might shock some of the people here, but the American comic scene has been progressive
There we
for
go.
decades upon decades. Like
The
part of
American comic scene has
X-Men's
always been progressive.
part of X-Men. Don't get me. I'm not clicking a Facebook link. Sign. Go download OBS
sign.
and record
Find
that.
it
I'm not
somewhere that
clicking
I
a
don't have to
Facebook link.
log in. Like, my
The
God.
suit up scene of
Or
stealing
somewhere that has a
Superman.
known
Oh wait,
history.
Lois Lane's getting an Iron Man suit? What the fuck?
I don't know. It's
no.
Superman and Lois.
Okay, that's not new.
Steel is supposed to be a dude from the hood, though, who goes around doing good things.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
there's
apparently
nothing wrong with
one of the
Steel.
lines in the movie is quite literally Lois Lane telling Superman to kill people because it's sometimes you need to kill people. And that he should kill people.
Oh, okay. So we're going back to no,
Injustice.
son. Don't save me from the tornado.
Yes.
Oh, I hated that. Oh, I hated that.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Okay.
Okay, here's the actual.
This Instagram link. Okay. All right. So he's
YouTube.
running.
There's the suit
he's
up
looking at the
sequence.
suit. Okay,
Actually,
so he's sprinting.
no, that's
Okay, so he jumps into the air and the suit. Okay.
That's fine. Actually,
That's
like
I mean,
that looks
They're
fine.
saying that's better than Iron Man.
Oh, they're full of shit. But
Absolutely.
like, there's nothing wrong. Stein, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you saying this looks like shitty mid 2000s
It does.
CGI. Iron Man was mid 2000s CGI.
True.
Yeah, but they spent a lot of money.
Okay, but this doesn't look shitty CGI. Sign? I have seen shitty CGI. This is not shitty CGI.
Yeah, it's not great CGI, but it's not shitty, brother.
You're that dumb cunt that looks at Final Fantasy 13 and insists that that's PS5 level graphics? Or you misremember that as being the heyday of PS2 graphics?
I was gonna say, it sounds like someone's saying, like, "Oh my god, this looks like a PS2 game."
Final Fantasy 13 was the PS3 generation. Yes.
Yeah.
That was the game with a lot of really good character designs that were wasted.
Wasted, yeah.
Oh, no,
utterly wasted, except for the fact that they all got to wear Prada.
Huh?
Oh, I get to inflict this on another human being.
Hey, Stein doesn't know.
I'm pulling up the article.
Stein doesn't know.
I'm sorry, Louis Vuitton.
So make sure you get the interview.
Yeah, no. Max, don't worry. I have that bookmarked.
Nomura really likes partnering with fashion brands to fuck with his viewers.
Look, Korea and Japan both have this really weird partnership thing they do with really weird unrelated shit. It's really confusing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure if Sony Japan was still open and in control of Helldivers, we would see shit like, actually, I wouldn't be against this one, but yeah, Helldivers Lockheed Martin.
Okay, that'd be funny.
Yeah, like I said, that would be kind of funny. But like, we would see some shit like Helldivers, and fucking what can we throw in there that's really nonsensical?
There was a
Jaguar.
There was a Japanese VTuber that did a sponsorship with, I think, a helicopter squadron once.
Yeah, yeah. There's really weird crossovers out there that's kind of just like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Yeah, the Asiatic countries just look at partnerships differently.
They're making money. That's what they're doing.
Clearly not that much if they close down Sony Japan.
No, that they got taken over.
Well, how did they get taken over if they weren't making more money?
It's not that they were making more money. I seem to recall that they were outnumbered and forced into it by Sony America.
Outnumbered? Really interesting. And how did they get outnumbered by a section of the company making less money, Sign?
I have no fucking idea.
Oh! Hell yeah, Helldivers Phantasy Star Online too. Yeah, exactly.
That would be great.
Oh,
nonsensical crossover.
no, that'd be amazing.
That would be something else.
Nope, here we go. Fuck, brain fart.
I was brainstorming ideas for a progressive fantasy lit RPG story, and I kept thinking about how sentient, short-lived R species like bugs are, and how long-lived K species like elves would have wildly different ways of life, how they handle power growth, and how they might look at generations and identity and all sorts of stuff, with humans sort of occupying a middle ground, trying to figure shit out.
That's been covered in several fantasy stories,
sure.
sci-fi stories.
Check out old school D&D.
You don't need to try to figure shit out. You need to steal from other works that have come before you and done it well.
Yeah, first
don't call
through
it stealing.
3.5.
No, it's not stealing. Steal
because it's funny.
Steal it and adapt it. Like,
yeah,
obviously.
The creative arts have always been based off of taking techniques from other people and adjusting them and adapting them to your own style.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's certainly a possible idea. I'm not really sure where you would go with it, though. I think is the main issue. Because if you were going to try and if you're going to try and show off a system, a game system taking place in the real world, in which everyone gets the same game system, it's going to be really favoriting people with longer lives. Unless you heavily scale the system in favor of short-term power gain, but then it's kind of going to be like...
Sneaky, we have to be afraid of the Solarians.
Exactly right. I remember a system set up from, I think it was Reincarnation Monster, the story was called. Just to be clear,
Solarian's not real.
Reincarnation Monster was lame as shit. It was really stupid. But it did bring into the idea that a world could have multiple game systems. And I thought that was kind of interesting because what it did was basically it said, well, the human-like races, which have human-like lifespans, they get a gamer system that boosts their stats through work. They get jobs. They get blessings and bonuses from doing the jobs, and they don't really they don't level their race. They level their jobs, right? And that's how a normal humanoid race gets stronger. But then the monster races got access to, the monster evolution system, where it's like, oh, if they ate a fire gem, they had the option to turn into a fire goblin if they killed enough, things to gather the energy to evolve. And so instead of just turning into a bigger goblin, they would unlock the rare fire goblin tree, and they could follow that instead. Shit like that, right? Where it's like, oh, this monster got a unique skill, ability, did a unique action. This goblin fished a bunch. It unlocked the sea goblin tree. And so instead of getting jobs and bonuses from following their job, monsters would get bonuses from surviving, killing, and doing unique things that played
also
into
eating.
their tree. Well, obviously eating. Yeah. But point being, if you had a multi system where it's like each god created their own gamer system for their various races that they created, you could have a system for bugs who have a really short lifespan that's based more on inheritance and generational slow incremental buffs,
Generational wealth.
Yeah, effectively. And then meanwhile, elves would instead have a system set up for them that's more beneficial to a long-term lifespan, in where they get buffs for mastering skills or something.
Sure. Makes sense.
And then, humans could be the middle ground where they get jobs, and, a knight is more likely to pass on the knight job directly to their offspring, instead of the offspring having to start from, like, fighter, and then working up to warrior, and then swordsman, and then knight.
Yeah, or you can train them and they get the page class, and then from page they can go to squire, and from squire they can go to knight, when everyone else,
Right.
like Sneaky said, has to do all that other bullshit.
And so, yeah, you could make a lot of really neat systems, but the main issue with the neat systems idea is that you do reach a threshold in where there's just too much information going on, and it becomes more of a question of fucking why. Like, why does anyone care about this story? What sets your story apart from everything else besides this gamer system you have invented for everything? Like, yeah, sure, you'll get a couple people clicking because, like, multi-layered gamer system. But why is your story taking place? What is setting the main character apart from everyone else that's going to draw the audience in? What is going on in the world that is going to draw people in? What kind of conflict is brewing? What kind of solution is occurring? Are they there to fix the mistakes in the god system of, like, the gods didn't really consider what would happen to bugs, 20,000 years down the line, and now you have super bugs running around everywhere because they built up 1% more strength per generation. But, now they're 300,000 generations in, and every bug has a base strength of 10,000.
Gentlemen,
Oof.
we have the super cockroach.
Oh god.
Oh no. Oh hell no.
Right. So, like, then on top of all of that, why do you care? Why should the reader care about the plot in your story? What's going to hook them in? And so there's a lot of information. It's you can make it work. I'm not saying you can't make it work. I'm just saying the amount of foundation you need to lay is you could unless you're gonna turn it into, like, this giant series with multiple point of view perspectives. You are laying a foundation for a mansion, and you're building a shack on it. It's a lot of effort for not much work in the end. For not a lot of payoff in the end. That's what it was looking for, yeah. Broseph is literally doing that in the elf story. Yeah, Broseph burns himself out, and that elf story is going to die eventually in a month or two.
Elf story?
So Broseph is running a story,
Peak elf performance.
Peak elf performance, yeah, where basically it's a human from our world gets isekai'd into a fantasy world, and because he's a reincarnator, he is not mentally developed the same way as other elves who are 20 years old. He's a fully developed, mature person already because he lived 20 years as a human. And that's the age for maturity as a human. And so now, as a 20-year-old elf, he doesn't feel like being treated like a toddler, effectively, culturally.
Right, because he is.
Fair.
Because he is, technically speaking, but he doesn't need 200 years to fucking mature because he's already matured as a human. And so he goes out into the world and adventures as an elf, and everyone thinks he's way older than he is because, again, it's hard to tell an elf's age. But in reality, he's only 20 years old.
Unless we're talking about that one show.
Yeah. I was thinking of Shield Hero, where different people have different systems tailored to them. Yeah, Shield Hero collapsed on itself, though. Shield Hero was so fucking dog shit, specifically because all the systems overlapping, and it's just a bunch of fucking nonsense. Shield Hero...
Oh, but if you figure out the systems overlap, you could unlock their system. Fuck off.
Yeah, but only if you believe, and only if they believe, and only if there's the connecting shield, connecting holy weapon between you two.
Yeah,
and
how
like,
in the fuck does that even work?
There was like 19 qualifiers and if statements, and it was such a fucking nightmare, and it made no sense at all, and it was just
Or you could just put on the slave collar. Oh god, I'm so glad Japan finally got over that. Like, oh, that was so
the slave
deeply
art for Japan was a long running one.
They're still on the slavery arc.
No, they're
it's
a
not
lot less on that arc.
Not as prevalent in what's
in
coming
remission.
over lately.
Yeah, it's in remission.
Honestly,
it was so...
Shield Hero was cooking for a while, but
Shield Hero actually collapsed because the author tried going in so many directions. Well, he had to. Again, the problem when you have stacking systems, the problem becomes that you'll quickly find that the stacking systems break the system. It's a lot like idle games, right? So in idle games, you have your stage 1 of idling, which is like you're clicking on something. And then you eventually automate the clicking. Now, obviously, if you automate the clicking, you have to make another stage for the automated clicking to be basically like you clicking on something again. Because if you don't, then that's the game's over now. Right? So now you have to have a next stage, and then you have to introduce a new system that now multiplies the clicking based on how many clicks there's been. And then you have to the next system that requires even more clicking. You can unlock another system that now multiplies the amount of clicking that multiplies the clicking because of the number of times you hit infinity, and so they keep adding new systems to be iterative, because if they don't, then it kind of defeats the purpose of an idle game. But the systems quickly break each other. And it's the point in an idle game to break each other, where the next system that gets introduced is supposed to render the previous system effectively a single cog in the new system. That's the point. The idle game is created that way. We are unfortunately not talking about idle games. We are talking about narrative stories. And narrative stories do not work like idle games, especially when the person creating the narrative story is not a game developer and therefore has none of this knowledge in their head. I mean, just look at every Japanese story involving video games. Holy crap, not a single one of them are working games.
Every time a Japanese writer tries to do an MMO, my soul implodes.
I had a great idea for an MMO. In this MMO, there's going to be a limited number on the mob spawns. Yeah, eventually the mobs will just stop spawning forever.
For what purpose?
Yeah, that's fucking dumb.
At least in SAO, it's like, yeah, there's spots where you can farm and people monopolize. Like, SAO pointed out correctly, there's a infinite amount of resources, but a finite number of places to access them.
Ophery was hilarious with the whole, here's a game bug
SAO
that's
did
one
not
player.
correctly identify it. SAO did it the stupid way.
I'm sorry.
Designed an MMO that had finite resources. SAO never got resources in MMOs correct. It fucked it up from page 1.
I thought they fixed it in I can't think.
Progressive never fixed it, to my knowledge. Progressive still insisted they were finite resources. The only thing that would be considered infinite resources is the fact that certain quests could be accessed by every player. And then that started breaking when they introduced Kismet. It's like, oh, everyone get this quest, but everyone has a different Kismet, and some people have the same Kismet because they happen to partner up on this quest at the same time.
Yeah.
Progressive
did get
actually,
broken.
Progressive actually started looking at how the AI properly worked, and we start seeing, oh, this is why Yui, the adorable little cinnamon roll of SAO Part 1, is actually an incredibly broken being.
Yes.
Because it's being split it's being split 10,000 different ways, and also being told you can't do your job. Sit back and
Yes.
watch.
Yes.
Yeah. Poor Yui.
But it's okay. She found Mama and Papa.
This will
Yes.
be the 6th time we have created the worst Jurassic Park sequel. We have become exceedingly efficient at it. Yeah. Yeah,
I
that
mean,
pretty much summarizes it.
Lost World's not that bad as a sequel, but
It's terrible.
definitely nowhere near as good as the first Jurassic Park.
Honestly, The Lost World is a fucking classic at this point compared to
The,
the new shit we've got.
the Lost World kind of felt like a satire.
A little bit. A little bit. They were a bit tongue-in-cheek with it. Now, admittedly, the books were way, way better. Like,
Oh,
it's
I
like a
loved
genuine good
the
sequel.
book. My favorite thing about the novel, Sarah Harding in the movie is kind of an annoying prat who doesn't act like she understands animal behavior, whereas in the
Yep.
book, she's a fucking badass. And when like Malcolm finds out Sarah Harding's on the way, it's like, oh, thank God.
Yep.
Thank God we're saved.
Mm-hmm.
Because her
Oh, yeah.
specialty is predator behavior. To the
Yep.
point where she has scars, and there's a bag she has that she has kept her entire career that has saved her life like 3 or 4 times because the predator got the bag and not her and didn't understand it only had the bag until she'd escaped and gotten up a tree or something.
So she literally pulled a lizard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, hey,
Yeah.
hey, don't knock this. Do not knock any system that nature has devised because it knows more than you.
I'm not. It's
I know, I'm
it's a
just
great
saying.
thing because it's like, why is that bag so important? Because it was an important gift to her. Also, it saved her life more than once. Like, makes sense.
It'll be a year since we last posted a chapter for Scarab in 4 days. Fuck, I guess I have to get it done in 4 days then.
Oh,
I have
please,
to
you're not
keep-
getting it done in 4 days.
I have to keep the joke going.
I'm sure.
I have to keep the joke
Yeah.
going. You don't understand.
Oh,
No,
okay. All right.
The
No, you'll
spite
keep
will
that
drive
joke
me.
going, but not scorched earth. Okay, I see how it is.
No, see, Max, he needs to wait until Dark Souls 4 comes out.
Yeah, exactly. I have to be excited for Dark Souls again. You don't.
Dark Souls
Oh.
4 Ring of Banished
I am
Night.
so fucked then. That story is never getting finished. Then I think Miyazaki is done with Dark Souls. As
I
a
think he
whole.
is. No, I mean, to be fair, 3 was a finale for it, so I'm
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
I'm okay
3
with
was
Dark Souls 4.
such a good. 3 was such a good wrap up.
Yeah, it was really good, man.
It's still
I
a
was
shame
so
Bloodborne
fucking
2
pumped for Dark Souls back
stuck
in the
with
day.
Switch.
Spent hours talking about it with
Bloodborne
Max.
2 never coming.
Wait, are you telling me you will not enjoy your legally distinct Bloodborne 2 Battle Royale?
You know, as someone who's always hated the invasion aspects of those games, I can confidently
Yeah.
say that I would not enjoy it if I bought it.
Yeah. So, anyway, let's actually get to the story finally.
Impossible.
So this is a original story based on Dungeons and Dragons, featuring the Drow, a self-insert, and the premise of why it's happening is jump chain. The summary reads as such: awakened in a foreign body and trapped in a hostile underworld, what is one to do? In a desperate bid for survival where no one can be trusted, what would he do to survive? The game is set, the pieces are moving, and only one will reach the end of the board. So A, questions. Never ask them, because my answers are, what am I going to do? Get out of there. I don't know why you asked that question. In a desperate bid, what would you do to survive? Literally anything.
anything.
Or alternatively, nothing. If you know you reincarnate and yet your reincarnation wasn't a fluke and you reincarnate into an area that sucks, just get yourself killed before some god takes your soul.
Just
Yeah.
die, idiot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, it's like that one story I forget a long time ago that had the whole gimmick of the isekai guy, the main character self-insert isekai, where he kept getting incarnated into really shitty worlds, and he was like, "Ah, fuck this shit, I can reincarnate," and then kills himself. And the random omnipotent being that's reincarnating him is like, "Dude, what the fuck are you doing?" He's like, "Dude, you're putting me into worlds like Warhammer. No fucking shit, I'm killing myself."
Wake up sitting next to a commissar. Immediately swallow lasgun.
And then
Yeah.
eventually,
The 40k jump starts with, am I on an agri world? Sure. Am I on the outer rim? No? Okay, where's the nearest pitchfork?
True.
Am I near
Um,
the Am I near the Ciatrix Maledictum? If yes, can I see a giant purple scar in the sky?
Eventually, I think the story settled onto My Little Pony. I don't remember if it was anthropized or not, or they
I
were
think it was
actually
just straight out
ponies.
horses.
It was just
I
straight
remember
out
the
horses.
story you're talking
Right,
about.
so yeah, he kills himself constantly. He ends up as a female pony in My Little Pony, and he's like, "All right, time to go fucking kill myself again." And then his daughter runs in. He's like, "Oh, mom, you woke up after the tomato sauce went everywhere." And he looks down and sees that the mom already killed herself once. And he's like, "Oh, fuck you, Rob. You're trying to guilt trip me into being this pony's mother." And the Rob's like, "Well, is it working? Are you gonna kill yourself?"
Yes.
He's like, I fucking might. I'll do it again."
Honestly, I would have loved the author for doing that. Do they at least tell us why the bomb offed her? Like,
stress of being a single mom, I think.
Oh, fuck off.
Answer. Yeah.
In the pony world?
Yeah,
Fuck
yeah. The author got a little bit preachy from what I remember, and possibly AGP. So. Yeah. Yeah.
Wait. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway.
I'm gonna say I can't believe that they did something for their all guardsmen party.
So anyway, yeah, the game is set. The pieces are moving, and only one can reach the end of the board. If that's supposed to be a callback to the Salvatore series, I wouldn't go that direction personally. Salvatore took about 142 books to do that, and like 25 authors who were understudies of his to do it. So I probably would not try and pull the Salvatore route as
I would say
single unpaid author.
I'm sorry to tell you this, but R.A. Salvatore, he's a pretty good author, but he's one of the luckiest sons of bitches alive. He was in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
And had exactly the right autism.
Pretty much.
A large if true.
And like, let's be clear. When he first wrote Drizzt, he just wrote that and submitted it raw. And that man has had paid work for every book he has written right up until he decided, I'm going to write a book about Drizzt's kid. I'm not writing about Drizzt, I'm writing about his kid.
Turns out that didn't work.
Yeah.
No, it did. He walked in with a completed manuscript, dropped it on Wizards of the Coast desk, and said, I want you to publish this. And Wizards said, they flipped through it, and they're like, yeah, all right. And that's coming out this year.
Yeah,
and I can't wait.
He also took like 20 to 40 different authors under his wing and basically taught them how to write. Because they were like, hey, here's my fan fiction of your world. Can I write with you? And he's like, yeah, sure. And so that's why there's a whole bunch of stories written by other authors for the Forgotten Realms, which effectively is his series, effectively. And if you actually read those stories, you'll see somewhere either in the author's note at the start, the pre-word, or in the back where the author's thanking people as well. They mention Salvatore basically teaching them how to write, or editing their story, or like helping them with lore, or basically having a heavy hand in their story. And
I think the only person who
careers.
didn't was the guy that wrote fuck, what's his name?
Jarlax or the assassin?
No, Wizard Boy.
Oh shit.
Wizard Man.
No. I know you're talking about, I also forget the name.
Elminster.
Yes.
Elminster, the eternally horny of Mistra.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sign, you would like Elminster.
I've heard of Elminster. I've met Nell Elminster in
got bothered by another jump chain idea, and I figured I might as well write my own one-shot. Alright, so we open up with the classic really lame shit of, oh my god, I can't believe I forgot my name in this jump chain. What a convenient way to not use my real name. Look. We all know you're not going to use your real name. You don't need to make a production of it. Everyone knows you're not going to use your real name. Everyone understands why you're not going to use your real name.
Just call yourself Fartis McDongle and move the fuck on.
You don't have to make a production out of, oh my god, I can't believe I don't remember my name.
Just use
so here's the thing, right?
Pseudonym.
Yes, but here's the thing, right? If you have the sort of amnesia that makes you forget your name, you are, by and large, also not going to be concerned over forgetting your name because you do not have the memories of why your name is important.
True.
Well, no, I mean, there's a certain amount of distress that comes from not having an identity, but that's more existential.
That's mostly Hollywood. So again, the actual medical amnesias that make you forget your name also put you in a state of brain damage / memory loss that make it very hard for you to be concerned over forgetting your name.
Yeah, full retrograde amnesia. You're basically a child again, and you're lucky if you understand it.
You're not understanding why not having a name is bad. You're not understanding why not having your name is bad. All of these connotations that people make in Hollywood, that's not stuff that happens in actual medical amnesia. Because, I mean, that's boring narratively. But also on the flip side, it's boring narratively to have a freak out over not having your name. Because, again, if you are,
You mean Jason Bourne lied to me?
True.
Yes.
Well, I think Jason Bourne was a lot more concerned than just his name. About a lot of other things. A lot of other things were going on than just his name.
Wait a minute. There are people shooting at me, and I'm shooting back really good.
Now, I will say, I too would be very concerned about what exactly my name was if a bunch of people were shooting at me. I'd be like, who the fuck am I that these people are trying to kill me? What the fuck did I do?
What did I do? And pop, 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 pop. How did I do that?
I'm still alive, you fucking amateurs.
Yeah, so anyway, that's a completely different scenario, but if you are the sort of person that's going to be quote unquote taking advantage of a jump chain, I mean, generally speaking, we're talking about main characters who are self-inserts. If you are writing a self-insert of you going into a jump chain of insert fandom world here. You are not a normal person. You are not a normie. Normies might freak out if they go to sleep one night, die in their sleep, and then wake up and what we would know as, like, I don't know, Lord of the Rings. But they don't know what Lord of the Rings is. So they're just suddenly in a forest with some weird-looking people looking down at them, and they're all wearing white, and they have pointed ears, and they're in some hippie-looking village. Yes, a normal person would freak out. The people doing these jump chains are not normal people. Do not say you would freak out in this situation. I'm sorry, you're sitting here writing a fucking jump chain about yourself going into these worlds. You would not freak out. You would be excited.
Yeah, you
don't lie to us.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's why they have to create the scenario of, I don't remember who I am. That way they have something to freak out over.
That way they can be different. Yeah. So, yeah, just skip over this sort of shit. Oh my god, what's my name? Now, if you want to be like, oh, damn, what the fuck's going on? God damn, Jesus Christ, what the fuck's going on? What the fuck's going on? Yo, this shit's wild. I don't remember anything. That's fine, right? That's fine. It's like, alright, fine. Don't have this whole fucking existential freak out over not remembering your name and then, you know, fucking people come up to you and like, hey, you're Bob Saget Magagabagak. And you're like, oh, what? I'd be psyched. I'd be a little bit sad for my family, but excited.
Yeah?
I think my enjoyment would be entirely based is if my parents died first or not.
True.
That being isekai drastically raises the chance of getting laid. True.
Very true.
I don't know.
There's also the matter of how you. If it's a you died scenario, that's, well, I feel really bad for my family. If it's a you were yeeted whole in your current form, then they're gonna be investigating that for years.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost
no closure.
Worse.
That's even worse.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, so yeah, dude comes in, drops some random ass garbage names. So where am I? Drow, obsidian, black skin, contrasting heavily with bone white hair, gold-hued eyes, confirmed as such. The sharp ears, mostly hidden behind carefully groomed locks, only confirmed my apparent identity. I mean, like, look, bro, just straight up. If you have pointed ears and you have obsidian black skin, you're a drow. Everyone knows you're a drow. You can literally have whatever eye and hair color you want. You can have whatever grooming on that hair you want. You can be fucking bald. You're a drow. There is not a lot of mistake in that one. You know?
Well. Okay, if it's obsidian skin, yes. If ambiguously brown skin, on the other hand.
Ambiguously brown skin is completely different, which is why I specified obsidian.
Yeah. You might be in for some problems.
Though I would say possibly the freak out I might have would be, am I a drow or am I a dark elf? Because if I'm a dark elf, problems are going to be had. I mean, obviously you're having problems if you're a drow already, but you're having a different set of problems if you're a drow. If you're a dark elf, man, the amount of stories you could be in is terrifying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're a drow, you're pretty fucked if you're not, in the top 1% of the elite.
Sure,
you're just a normal drow male, you're kind of fucked.
Sure, but like, here's the thing though. Drow have a separate issue. Like, if you're Drow, you're not in 40k. If you're Drow, you're not in generic fantasy world where dark elves are the bad guys and villains and everyone slaughters them in multiple
D&D.
genocides. Yeah, if you're a Drow, you're in D&D, and D&D is, while a fairly terrible place depending on which version of D&D and which world of D&D,
which era?
Not as bad as a lot of Dark Elf worlds.
True.
So the first question you ask when you get to an isekai world. So are there drow or are there dark elves? What's the difference? One commits more war crimes.
No. If they have to ask what the difference is, there are no drow.
True.
That's a problem.
Oh. I guess it...
Yeah.
You start asking a lot more specific questions about chaos and
So do the tribal men in your world wear people's skin? Oh, they don't wear people's skin. Oh, thank God. They wear demon skin. Oh, fuck off.
That made everything worse.
Oh, great. That means worse.
So the elves in this world, how would you describe them? Are they peaceful? Are they warlike? Are they
Oh, well, they're mostly peaceful.
super
They just
degenerate and horny?
No, they just mostly stay on their They just stay in like one place normally. Oh, what kind of place? Oh, it's an island. Although we do get this really weird and like weirdly emo dude that's really intense that comes in and keeps asking us where this special orc is. All right, I'm out.
Which one's that?
That's
Tharian.
Is that Warhammer or is that 40K?
Yes, it's Warhammer. Yes,
it's Warhammer.
Warhammer. Fantasy.
He's
one of the heroes in 3, so you can play as him.
It's just elf Batman.
But how is the big billion-dollar question? No. How is the one question that doesn't matter at all, actually. If you are ending up isekai'd into another world, how? That's the last question you need answered. Because unless you're the one isekai'ing yourself, the how is out of your reach. So it doesn't matter.
True.
You need way more important questions answered, like, where am I? When am I?
When?
What fandom am I in?
Well, what fandom is kind of implied in where, just a different kind of where.
Well, yeah, but that's why I separated the two into what and where, because, I'm isekai'd into Warhammer. It's like, alright, not great. Where in Warhammer am I isekai'd? Oh, in the middle of Nuln. Oh. Alright, that's not terrible.
Why do I hear scratching at the walls?
True.
Let me guess, Skaven?
No zombies.
Well, no. It would be Skaven. Skaven love Nuln.
That too, yeah. Are you hiding rats under your floorboards? I don't know. Am I?
Let's find out.
Do you have any
rats? Are you under the floorboards? No. No rats here.
No. Go away, weird hunt thing.
Well, no rats under the floorboards, I guess. Oh, yeah, fair enough.
As no rats under the floorboards, I'm sure they won't mind if I drop this weird log. Drops torch.
Drop stick of dynamite.
No, they don't have dynamite yet.
What the fuck are you smoking?
They don't have dynamite. They have gunpowder. They don't have, in a stick. They have grenades, though.
Realize dynamite is basically just early dynamite is basically just nitroglycerin.
I don't think they have nitroglycerin.
Wrapped in paper. You have to have nitroglycerin for the production of certain chemicals that are used in the leatherworking and metalworking processes.
I guess.
Like they had it.
Hold on a minute. I'm actually. Hold on. I don't remember anything. Okay, hold on.
I mean,
No,
historically.
fucking dude. The dwarves literally have dynamite charges.
You're right. I'm sorry. I'm like thinking like, oh, it's not called dynamite. It's called satchel. I'm fucking no. I'm
satchel charge.
Yeah, satchel charges. Yeah.
Yeah, they're called satchel
That
charges.
is.
I am sorry. I'm tired. I apologize. Yes, no, they do have the dwarves have dynamite, and I'm pretty sure Null stole some and probably uses it.
You see, here's the thing, right? The only reason why that the human armies might not be using dynamite is because the dwarves that use dynamite are miners. They are using it for mining. And human armies are professional armies, not miners.
Now, they only use it for mining. That's totally true. They don't use it for anything else.
But certainly nobody has looked at the miracle chemical that makes things blow up and go, I wonder what would happen if I put that in a group by enemies.
Yeah, no, they actually just use straight up actual grenades in Null. They don't degrade themselves to using dynamite.
Okay.
They just use straight up gunpowder and
okay, so they just got
explosives.
grenades.
Yeah.
They tell the unit that they don't want to see the thing over there anymore.
You know,
they don't want to see over there anymore.
One of the Empire units you don't have access to, but you would if you bought Warhammer 1, is cavalry that have grenade launcher pistols.
The grenade launcher pistols?
Yes.
You mean they have the fucking Zorn? Or what the Shadow
No, it's not grenade launcher pistols. They just have grenade launchers.
No, they're pistols. They're grenade launcher pistols.
Okay.
There's the difference is the amount of range on them, and they're pistols. Yes, it's China Lake like pistols. Yes.
Or a shorty short. No, that's not what it is.
It's a short-barreled single-shot grenade launcher pistol.
Yeah.
Yes. They're really fun to use. They have low ammo, but they're really fun to use.
Yeah, I imagine. Point this thing at something, and everything in the general area goes bye-bye.
Yeah, I will say I do appreciate that Warhammer, Total War Warhammer, does at least admit the truth, which is when you play a faction that has guns, the guns are just better than everything else you have access to. Obviously, you know, not better than the fantasy unit of godlike strength and power or dragon laser beam, but like, oh, these guys with guns versus these guys with swords. Well, the guys with guns win.
Yeah, the guns are gonna win.
Counterpoint: I cast Net of Amatok and 3 units of handgunners. Goodbye, any unit.
True.
Counterpoint: I cast artillery from over the next hill.
Counterpoint: human artillery is the best in the game besides dwarves.
It really is. That's the best fucking part.
What artillery?
One of the strats for human armies in Warhammer is you just have a 17 stack of firework launchers. What the fuck are they called? Hailstorm.
Hellstorm rocket batteries.
Hellstorm rocket batteries. Yeah. It's basically it's Katyushas but in a cart, and you just have 17 of them.
That's for humans, and that's in the default.
Empire. Yeah, that's the Empire. Yeah. I don't know if you have access to them with Elizabeth. That's
what would I need to get it?
Yeah. You really just need to purchase Warhammer 1 if you want to play the Empire.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much all... most of the dwarves, most of the Empire, most of...
It's almost like the DLCs are expansion packs instead of whole new races.
No, but see, he bought only Warhammer 3 plain, and then the 2 DLCs we told him to buy, which was Elizabeth and the Dwarven Engineer.
Well, no, I bought all 3 of those.
Oh, you bought all 3? Okay.
Because it was simpler.
Yeah, it was just a little bit cheaper.
Total War Warhammer, the first one?
Yeah.
It's fucking $14.
So, like we said, all of the DLCs from both of Warhammer 1 and Warhammer 2, including Warhammer 1 and Warhammer 2, they each come with their own races that they unlock in the Immortal Empire game mode. And they all carry over to Warhammer 3. And that's the only way to unlock them.
I'll just...
Hey, look on the bright side. At least you didn't have to pre-order a fucking game to get a race.
Is there a Giga collection pack I think you can pick up that has all the
there
DLCs for all 3?
But if I've already bought this in piecemeal, then I'm not paying again for the whole thing, and it's not going to subtract the difference from that.
No, you idiot. Steam does that. What the fuck? You sign L.
Steam does that?
Steam does that. Steam takes
that.
off the cost of everything you've already bought inside the collection.
Yeah, do that.
That's not.
You've never seen that? They've done that for like 10 years.
I've never bought big collections.
That's fair.
Fair enough.
Like, I've never had a reason to.
I'm pretty sure you don't see them unless you open the bundle themselves.
Yeah, you actually have to open up the collection itself, but if you just open up the bundle, it will show you which ones it's not including inside the purchase.
Okay,
the only time you end up rebuying a game is if you decide that you do want the deluxe edition of something, but the publisher's a shitbag and doesn't put out a deluxe upgrade as a DLC.
There's a reason why Steam is the best platform. There's a lot of reasons why Steam's the best platform, but anyway.
Yeah, no shit.
So, wrong priorities, and it's depicted as a reasonable approach instead of an unreasonable approach. The language being used generally is very washy.
It kind of sounded like a AI.
I don't know if he's ESL or not, which is why I'm trying to like stay away too much, because his name is Degenerate Slav or whatever, so... I was like, if this guy's Slavic and if he's ESL, then I'm not going to come too down hard on him for some of his word choices. But again, at the same time,
if you're writing in English, you kind of need to
it's
write it coherently.
On one hand, I'm going to give you a little bit of a break for not being English primary, but at the same time, you are writing in English. You are choosing to write in English. So, it's just like if you got your driver's license in Britain and you came over to America, driving on the left-hand side of the road isn't allowed. It doesn't matter that you do that in Britain. You gotta drive the American way when you're in America. Same thing for language. And I don't care that you're actually from Romania. If you're choosing to use English, you gotta speak English the English way, not the Romanian way. Fucking Frenchie. Still asshote over that.
Yes, I'm French, and I'm gonna use my way of constructing sentences and my punctuation, and no, fuck off. You're using English.
But yeah, let's see here, blah, blah, blah. The distinction between the past and present was confusing to me, akin to looking at a broken glass panel. What? Where some shards showed one face and others a different one. Huh?
So a mirror? A broken mirror.
Come to think of it, why was I so calm about being isekai'd?
Why wouldn't it be?
Oh, is this one of are we about to have a whole, I'm freaking out because I'm not freaking out over something? God, I hate that shit.
A little bit.
I hate that shit whenever
it's like, oh god, why am I not, like, why am I so happy with this?
I'm freaking out now because I'm not freaking out over something.
He's yicking out. I'm sorry.
Excuse you?
Over.
God damn it, Nose.
What do you say? God damn it, you do the message
I
I sent you or what I
appreciate
just
that
said?
you DM'd that, but at the same time, god damn it, Nose.
I can't say that on stream.
I have my volume cranked up super high, and I can still barely hear the stream. I mean,
What have I returned to?
We're hitting.
Awfulness.
I mean, I'm nearly redlining my own mic. Am I not loud?
I mean, I've got you
essentially-
futzed with, so you're quiet to me, but that's because
I
I've
have
got you
your volume
cranked
turned
down on
back.
Discord.
Wait, no, let me double check.
You aren't Agatha
Oops.
Christie. You can't use colons in dialogue. True.
Wrong. I can in fact use colons in dialogue. I've got you set at 114%.
All right. Well, let me pump the volume up then a little bit.
Yeah, and you sound normal on 114.
That right there was louder. I can hear you just fine. Okay. Well, let me adjust it a little bit then. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess am I too loud? If I get really angry, did I blow out
Discord
your ears?
just cuts you off.
Discord. just
Nah,
cuts you
well,
off.
yeah, Discord
Bird
cuts
just
me
got
off.
cut
I don't fucking care about what Discord does. I'm talking about the people who are listening through the stream. That's good.
They're not
Okay,
real.
great. True. That's right. You are all figments of my imagination. That's why that's what it says on my title card. It's a delusion. It was all a dream. When I wake up, stories will be good.
It was all a dream, Kermit.
No.
When I
that
wake
is-
up, stories will be good.
Lie to yourself.
Oh, you know what? I fucking figured it out again. Fucking piece of shit. Goddamn noise canceling. Fucking god. I hate that shit. God, it's so ass. Steel Series. All right. It should
Well, it
stop
sounds like it's
cutting
time
my
to play
mic
Steel
off
Series.
now automatically to balance the audio. So that should probably improve it a little bit. Oh wait, now
Yeah,
hold on. I
maybe
gotta check my
replace
fucking.
your-
Replace my what?
Replace your Steel Series? Something else. that doesn't
Why would I
suck.
do that? Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want
To
Do you
get
want
something that doesn't suck.
Okay, sure, yeah, sure. I'll replace it. You want me to send me like $300?
300. You don't need
Yeah,
300
send me
fucking
$300. Yeah, just send me $300. I'll replace my headset.
No. A new headset does not cost $300.
Oh boy, I got some bad news for you.
What the fuck are you using that costs $300?
Literally anything besides cheap crap.
Fucking apparently. Oh, I guess it's Prime Day now?
There
Yeah.
is
If anyone's looking for an absurdly good deal on hard drives, Western Digital is selling their 10 terabyte Black Series for $190 right now.
Ooh.
Ugh.
Down from 280. Okay,
Oh.
Sign. You want to Sign? You
damn.
Hold on.
okay? We're stocking that L for next stream too.
Yeah,
Thanks for
no,
the-
Sign's
thanks for the pre-op.
Sign's got at least 3 L's queued up.
No,
Great.
hold on.
Yeah,
You're
Yeah.
you're
No,
saying
I'm not gonna.
it's a
I'm not.
it's a
I'm
Western
not gonna
Digital-
hold on.
yeah,
it's a Western Digital 10 gig black.
yeah.
Okay,
It's
no.
a 10 terabyte.
10
I
ter- I'm
said
sorry, 10 terabyte. Is that mechanical or solid state?
Mechanical.
Okay.
Sign. You show me where you're getting 10 terabyte SSDs, and I'll show you a scam and a fool.
Right.
True.
I have a 10 terabyte SSD. Oh, what's half of it filled with? Bitcoin.
Magnesium.
Sand. It's just sand. Okay.
Actually, what is Western Digital's largest solid-state drive?
I think the largest I saw was 5 terabytes. Maybe 6. Might have been
We're
6.
probably at the cusp of 10 terabytes being consumer viable, but I don't know that we're there yet. The largest I've seen is 6 terabytes, I think, for an SSD currently, just in general.
Oh Jesus! The price of these have gone the fuck up.
Price on what?
All hard drives, they've gone way up.
Fine.
Is this?
What are you
The last
talking
time you
about?
built a computer was when you moved your mower by pushing it with your hands.
Hold on, let me check.
Is this a fucking? Wait, hold on. Is this a hard disk drive?
Buying a hard disk drive in the year of our Lord 2025.
Yeah,
wait, does Western Digital? Wait, no. Western Digital makes SSDs, right? I'm not crazy, right? Yeah.
No.
The blue and red are traditional SATA ports on their SSDs, and the black series sticks to the NVMe factor. Form factor.
Alright, it makes sense, yeah.
Few order details. Alright. Okay. So I bought a WD 15 terabyte Ultra Star in 2021. That thing was $275.
$88 for a 1 terabyte solid state black.
Wow, you're right. You're right.
$88?
The 10 terabyte that I just listed at $280 when it's not on sale, that's such a jump in price. That's
Wait,
so large.
what the fuck?
2 terabytes in 2021.
No, that's a scam. That's gotta be a scam.
Right now,
how is this not a scam?
12 terabyte is $209.
What the fuck?
18 goes
Boy.
for 13. What
the fuck?
The red series are primarily storage.
This has got to be a
not
scam.
performance.
This has to be a scam.
The WD Black is performance based.
If you're buying a
Guys, I want to hear what Sneaky's scam is.
Yeah, go ahead.
This has to be a scam. This is a $23 1 terabyte NVMe. This is 110% a scam, right?
The fact OEM is in the name is already not good.
OEM. Oh, that's so. Visit the OEM genuine store.
Outlets. Sneaky. This says 256 gigabytes.
Outlets.
Okay. Well, it was on the link I clicked. It said 1 terabyte. Okay.
That's probably Amazon link breaking.
That's still cracking my brain. 256 NVMe for $23?
Yeah, I wouldn't touch this because I would assume this is a refurb.
It's probably a refurb.
That's got to be a refurb. Brand OEM genuine. The actual thing it's
you know it's real because it has the word genuine in it.
Okay. Oh, well, not even better. Under the About This item page, bulk packaging, only the drive is included. It's like, oh, okay.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
wait, SanDisk sells Western Digital stuff. Oh, okay, I guess they're owned by the same company?
They're a subsidiary.
They're subsidiary.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, they yanked this out of an OEM PC and they're selling it.
Okay, yeah. So a Western Digital Black 8 terabyte NVMe.
Why the
is
fuck
$700?
Need 8 terabytes, honestly.
Yeah.
Listen, I have to make sure that I preserve the entirety of Gundam for my future children.
I have to be able to access it at lightning speeds.
SSD.
You don't need 8 terabytes for that. You only need 3.
You also don't use SSD.
Don't ask me how I know that.
NVMe.
I assume a large amount of compression is involved.
Well, no, hold on.
No, it's just old shit is small.
What rate did you download that at?
Well, it's not just that. You can also, instead of doing MP4, you could do the MKV codec, which is noticeably better at resolution to compression compared to MP4.
MKV is great.
It's technically crunchier, but not in the way the human eye can really appreciate unless you're actually insane with the way your brain reads stuff. Anyways,
what I was
I'm
saying
thankful,
was-
Stein, for stocking so many L's for poor takes on mechanical hard drives
Listen.
in this day and age.
Listen,
Oh,
what I'm
man.
saying is, you're getting a mechanical hard drive in the multi-terabyte range. You
Sure.
are using that for storage.
Yeah.
If you're using it for anything else, you are doing it wrong. Like, if you want to use it for
Not wrong.
your MP3 collection, your video collection, your porn collection, you're doing it right, and you go with a red or a purple, not a black. The blacks they were built before SSD really became viable, and they were your higher quality, higher access rate hard drives that were the performance tier hard drives. Yes, but you don't use those any fucking more. Unless you're, I don't know, booting off an NVMe and then using that.
Say it, Sign. And say it with your chest. Insult me to my face. Say it with your chest.
I'm not insulting you unless. Are you doing this?
Yes, he is.
Yes, do it.
Yes, Sign. Because I store several gigabytes and terabytes worth of games, media in general, and 3D models. So say it with your chest and insult me to my face.
Oh wait, 3D models? What are you using to your 3D modeling?
Blender,
because it's
UE.
free and I've been learning it for 8 years.
Yeah, you'd actually want a black for that.
Yeah.
No shit. The guy who's been spending
it's
the last 8
almost
years
like
of
it's
his
what
life
he's
learning
doing.
3D models and video editing? No shit. So, Sign,
Damn,
take your
crazy.
opinion, shove it up your ass, and learn to hold your tongue. Some people don't have $700 lying around for an 8 terabyte NVMe. But they do have $300 lying around for 2 10 terabytes.
True.
Mm.
Yeah. Good shit. Good shit. Technically speaking, you can double the rate if you do the whole striping. Is that what it was? Striping? Yeah. Striping raid.
Yeah, something like striping, but I do not like the idea of striping.
I'm not
Oh
fucking
no,
around.
striping is a fucking terror. You have to buy 3 hard drives if you ever want to do striping, so you can have a third hard drive be a parody check.
I know. That's one of those. Isn't that one of the raid setups?
Yeah, it's striping is what 2+1, 2+0.
That's the one that scared me the most when I tried learning about raid setups.
1+0.
Because that's the one. If your parody drive goes down, you're fucked.
Well, see, that's why you have a backup failure parody drive. Yeah,
second parody.
Yeah, no, it doesn't have second parody. What it has is mirror parody.
It has a mirror of the entire setup, so it's actually 6 drives.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
No. I would literally rather have.
That's what? That's
drives.
raid 6.
I don't remember.
Striping with parody raid. Striping with parody raid is 5.
No, I would literally rather have just individual drives, have one drive with all my data on it, put up in a cabinet, and update it monthly, rather than doing fucking striping.
Oh, raid 1+0 is mirror striping.
Yeah, raid 10. No.
No, 1+0. 1+0 is different from 10.
1+0 is different from 10. Oh, I'm sorry, my bad.
Yeah, fucking raid.
Don't touch it.
I remember that time that we were just going through raid for like several hours, and you're like, "I hate all of this."
Yeah, because I thought it just went 0, 1, 2 and striping, and then you're like, "Oh, but what about 1+1? Like, what do you mean 1+2+1? The fuck did you just say to me?"
Yeah, remember that 2+1+0 is different from 2+0+1.
No, I was remembering it right. That's a sneaky L.
What?
Raid 10 is raid 1+0.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
That's lame and stupid. They should be fired.
A little bit.
Bro is mad that he was wrong.
It's not that I'm wrong; it's that you're wrong.
He's not mad. He's wrong.
He's mad that
at how
it's
stupid the concept
stupid.
is.
Oh, it's just
I'm mad that they called 1 + 0 10.
Well,
I'll be honest. That makes me upset too. Honestly, I think that's more of an L for the people who named it.
Exactly. Because the thing is that these various different RAID numbers are supposed to be representing of different ways of storing the data. RAID 1 + 0 is storing the memory in RAID 1 with a +0 RAID style appended to it, which is different.
Shut up.
So it wouldn't make sense to call it RAID 10, because RAID 10, if you're like, oh, well, RAID 10 is actually if you do a RAID style 1 and then append RAID 0 onto it. It's like...
Or double RAID 5 somehow?
Yeah, 5 + 5, yeah.
Which, okay, yeah, sure, but it is what it is.
But yeah, like the plussing doesn't make any fucking sense. It's all disconnected. It doesn't make. It's just. I hate. This is why you don't let nerds name shit, because it will inevitably not make any fucking sense by the end of it. Just like that printer program that broke, at literally midnight, if you tried to do a print job. With the error message of fucking, I need a hero, I need a man. I need a man. Yeah, that's what it was. Yes, there was a printer program that was widely used that broke if you printed specifically at midnight because of the song. Fucking, was it I need a hero, yeah. Fucking, what are the lyrics? The lyrics to the song I Need a Hero.
Coming in at midnight hour, something like that's one of the lyrics, I think.
Yeah. Holding out for a hero, yeah, sorry.
Oh, yeah. No, there's two. There's two.
Midnight. But anyway, yeah, point being is that he butchered the lyrics to make references to Linux commands, and it would break at midnight, the printing program, because he thought it was funny to include that Easter egg, because he thought no one would be printing specifically at midnight. Like, it only happens specifically at midnight.
Oh, so if you're at 12:01.
Yeah, it doesn't happen at 12:01. It only happens if you do a print job at precisely 12 o'clock.
I don't know, that's pretty funny.
So for 15 years,
yeah,
for 15 years, it didn't happen.
It cost some poor dude their job.
Millions.
Because that midnight print was what they needed to land the biggest deal that would save their company.
Yeah. So basically what happened was, from the story I remember, is it sent this IT guy into a fucking spiral trying to figure out what was going on, because he included coding language into the response to the error message of why it was breaking. So he's like, well, he was trying the man command and the print command, and he's like, I don't understand what's going on. It's referencing these commands, and I'm using them, and there's nothing changing. I'm not getting anything in the error log, because it wasn't an error, so it wasn't creating an error in the error log. And finally he contacted the developer and was like, dude, I can't figure out your program. Your program breaks at midnight. Every single time I try to print at midnight, it breaks. And the guy's like, oh. Yeah, 18 years ago when I was coding that section, my friend was singing the song and said, wouldn't it be funny if I included waiting out for a man into the readout script. And again, because it never happened, they never really bug tested it because, again, it was also an Easter egg. So they never really tested to see if that would actually stop the printer script or not.
Yeah, because it's just like, why would you ever think to even check that?
It was like, why would you bug test an Easter egg? It's an Easter egg. So
because no one's going to print at midnight.
Exactly. So they're like, it's just in the code. It's funny. And then finally someone did print at midnight, and it actually breaks the entire fucking program. And the guy was like, it has been 18 years, and no one has ever had that happen to them until now. I apologize. And so he put out an update to the program that removed that line.
Yeah, I bet he fucking did.
Yeah, that's a liability issue. Woo.
Oh.
But yeah, so that's the problem with a lot of stuff, is that you'll put a reference, or you'll think something's obvious, or you'll think oh well, clearly everyone knows what I'm talking about when I say this thing, and it's like, no. 18 years in 18 years no one will have any idea what you're talking about. Don't just assume everyone knows. The worst if you ever don't put, there's plenty of people that don't put comments in their code, and those people can die. I've seen code where people put comments in of, you know what to do here.
Oh.
And it's just like, no, the McFuck, I don't.
And it's like, wow.
I hate that shit.
I'm actually more angry with this comment being here than I would be if you didn't even put a comment in. But
or almost as bad, you get the ancient memes that nobody understands these days.
True. Yeah.
Elite speak and other shit.
Yeah, I'm going to make a function in Leet Speak, and it's only going to make sense if you know the fucking meme I was looking at the time when I wrote this code. And everyone else is just going to be super confused and get the code wrong. But yeah, so he has I mean, obviously it's the 10,000 word. I have fucking 10,000 words. But yeah, so anyway, his story's got a bunch of problems in it. He's got shit going on here of... in his own head, he's being calmed down by himself, because obviously he would be calm because he's in his body, and why wouldn't he be calm by having his own body? How could you ever have an alien feeling in your own body? We're just going to move on from that. So he's getting lost in his own reflection, and then he finally is like, oh, wait, where am I? I've been having multiple dozens of paragraphs about who I am and how can I get home and why am I not freaking out about this? But I'm finally going to ask, 1,000 words in, where am I?
Whatever you say, Orpheus.
Pale orb glowing overhead, light with blah, blah, blah. We want to try something else out. Focus caused the orb to blah, blah, blah. No one gives a shit. All these memories are coming in. Why am I being hidden? Your supreme vileness, are you there? Scab, I hope this is important. I sneered at the goblin butler. Not even having to fake displeasure in my voice. His name was unfortunately more spot on than I liked.
Brother, if I had first of all, if my butler had scabs, I'd be like, we are dunking you in health potions until I don't have to look at that. Second of all, brother, you are always polite to the goblin butler because he is absolutely capable of shanking your ass.
And also being paid to shank your ass. Because, I mean, drow. So, drow literally going after your servants. The solution you might think in a drow society is, I'll just be nice to your servants, but that's how the servants end up murdering you and taking over. And you would think, oh, certainly my servants wouldn't do that, but it's like, yeah, but you're in drow society, so your servant murdering you is actually proof that the servant deserves the lead.
Yeah.
Large if true.
Um,
Oh, and if you don't have servants, well, you're poor.
I was gonna say, what are you doing with
yeah, so anyway, he throws in a bunch of details. The scab is throwing in very pompous language. As you command, most lackadaisical of masters, scab responded, scampering off. So got some overlord dialogue going on in here, and that's, unless you're writing a parody story, that's not a good one. Not a good one to mimic. So, yeah, anyway, point being, he introduces random words, random places, doesn't open up with a real reason to give a shit about him or what he's doing here. The summary, which is supposed to introduce us to the story, instead just asks a bunch of really stupid fucking questions like, do you want to live?
Yeah.
I'd much rather perish.
Do you like living, kids?
I'm not trying to perish, mate. I'm not real with you.
Could I instead
I'm sorry,
actually is there an option to perish? I'd quite like that option, actually.
We don't have that option. We do have beans on toast, though.
Looks like about halfway into the chapter, he immediately jumps in to just start murdering people, drow style. So again, we spent 1,000 words with this guy having a minor, like, tiny little freak out about who he really is and what his memories really are, and blah 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 blah. And then you're just like, yeah, actually, we're just going to get, 4,000 words in. We're going to just jump straight to murdering the shit out of people for fun. It's like, okay, so why the whole existential freak out then at the start? Why waste our time with that if you're just going to get to the fun parts? Which, again, I'm not against. What I am against is you having an existential freak out and then effectively moving on from it. Yeah. So... I mean, it is, by all technicalities, a technically well-written story. I wouldn't read this story. I'm not interested in the character. The summary doesn't catch me. You tossed in fantasy words to toss in fantasy words. You introduced the character poorly. You introduced the reasons why I should be reading the story poorly. You had your character go through a time waste, and then immediately had the character move on from the time waste, completely disregarding any sort of moment the character could have had in those times that you wasted our time with. A lot of italics going on here, a lot of line break jumps, time skips, and then you put a fucking dictionary in at the end of the chapter. I would never read this story, and honestly, it looks like everyone else agrees with me as well. 1 bookmark, 4 kudos.
Oof.
But yeah, I mean, look, this whole thing is just absolute dog shit. Like,
yeah. So, glad we finally covered that story, I guess. But, it won't be hard to beat on this one. So, come